Hello, good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, everybody, depending on what time it is for you where you are. Happy Friday! Sorry I'm late. I'm like really late. I do apologize. That's unprofessional. I have a cat on my desk. We've got some gold to make, and we're set up for a good stream today. I want to thank Shirhala for the 43-month resub. Thanks for everything, Hazel. Thanks for being here. That's such a long time. Hi, Hazel and Misk here. Morning, Hazel. First time I see Hazel. It's me. Good morning. I already called the cops to check on you. Oh, man. Have you guys seen... I don't even know how you would describe me to the police. You'd probably describe the dog and work backwards. Thought you were kidnapped. Oh, man. Okay. Hi, kitty. Where would you like to be today? How are you doing? You doing okay? You were up a lot last night, and that wasn't very fun. Oh my goodness. I want to check my mail and like consolidate my gold. I put 850k in the stream title because I'm sure I'm at least at that much, but I want to see how much I actually have because we've been chaining the gold making streams together lately. And I would love to see if we're getting anywhere. We're trying to get to like approximately 1.5 mil. The exact number might need to be given or taken a little bit. Did check the stream title. That is as far as it went. Coffee spilling. No, to be honest with you, I was just... sometimes I do a Hearthstone Battleground with breakfast. And typically, if you leave yourself half an hour, that's enough time to play a game. But if the game goes really long, then it's not. And I have a hard time walking away from a game that's at the very ending stages. It was a weird one. Bear Bakery, thank you for the 61-month resub. Hello, Hazel, Kira, and chat. Need to finish 7th in the morning more often. Yesterday, that's exactly what happened. Is I had like only 25 minutes left, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'll start one, and then maybe I'll finish in time. But I don't know. This is pushing it. But then I got like a 7th place, and I had like 15 minutes left over. That's why I'm saying it. I was still a little late because I was so cranky about having lost so badly that I was like dragging my feet getting to my desk. Okay, so what's in my mail? Any success? Yeah. Oh, I actually sold basically most of that True Sight file batch. Very good. Love to see it going out. Also, I got my drops, so we can take a look at that. This is the Kaldoroi Warwolf. This is from the drop that's currently active that you can currently get for watching 20 minutes of this or any stream with drops on. I'm sure a lot of you have this by now, just kind of waiting for it to activate because you don't need to watch for very long. If you are looking, if you have questions about it, there is... Do I not have a drops button here? I used to have a drops button here. I moved it from my farmhand button. Info in that article. There's a second mount as well that I'm assuming Horde gets to use. And these are recolors, not exact copies, but recolors of the recent ones from the trading post. So once again, me saving my tender actually kind of worked out for me because it's not the exact same one, but it'll do. So I have... Whoa! All right. Well, that's pretty good. Do I have any gold on... Do I have any gold over here? I'm doing better than I thought. You have wood or carpet floors? Depending on what it is, dragging your feet, extra warmth. Mainly wood floors, or, like wood floors. So I wear big fluffy slippers with big thick soles almost all the time. Because if I stand on my floors in just socks, my feet get cold instantly. So I might have some stuff in the mail. I hopefully have some stuff in the mail. Although if there's Airthor Spear down there, I'll pick it up first. And then I can kind of consolidate my gold that way. Did you dye your hair? No, not recently. I have in my life dyed my hair, but right now I have natural hair. Brown with a healthy dose of gray. Whenever I see a photo of myself from the back that shows like the crown of my head, I'm like, wow, I have more gray hair than I thought because it's kind of concentrated back there. It's funny how it's not like even. There'll be like sections of your head that do more of it. Oh yeah, I sold my slum sharks. So that's another inksy. We're just gonna send it over. You'd think I would use the warbank for this, but when I'm only grinding on one character and then stocking it up on another one, I'm not using like a ton of characters to make gold. It's actually easier just to hold it the old-fashioned way. Carpet with pets can be a pain to keep clean. Yeah, there's gonna be cleaning no matter what, but if you have carpet, it pays to have a steam cleaner. I'll tell you that much. Cross faction, you can use both. Oh, I wonder. Thick, grippy souls, a lot of resistance. Figure out a way to make war within gold other than farming resources. I've been farming and crafting. I've been doing... Hang on, so what's the other mount called then? That one was just the one on the top of my list. It's like a... So this is the wolf. There's also a saber, right? Is this it? Is it the Blackrock War Saber? Or is that from something else? I actually don't know. That's kind of cool. Anyone been tempted by the new patch to play a goblin? Ooh, it would be a fun time to make a goblin ult, that's for sure. Maybe that should be my warlock. Looks the part, at least. Alright, so speaking of crafting, I'm going to see if there's anything I need to be getting into in terms of my alchemy and my enchanting this morning. Also, I want to make sure I have my gold on. So I have, presently, 937,000 gold. That's more than I had yesterday. Woo! And I'm pretty sure that's like all of my auctions sold. I think I'm not sitting on anything else. No, everything's sold. My alchemical chaos are gone. We're in good shape there. Hi, sweetie pie. Good day. Good day to you, Day. I hope you're having a lovely day today. First time here. Appreciate the raid, guys. Helped me so much. Thanks for watching them, Detective Dangle. Yeah, that mount is from the current Twitch drops, the War Saber and then the wolf. Always appreciate the pun. I couldn't get away from it. I kept trying to think of other words to mix it up, and that was the only one coming to mind. Alrighty. Concentration-wise, I am high but not capped. But we could probably stand... You never know when I'm going to just, like, log off for a couple of days and forget about it, so it doesn't hurt to kind of spend it down. Let's start with an auction house scan. 3 tokens, 2 more to go. Something like that. And honestly, it came together pretty quickly, so I might keep going after that, just long enough to get anything else I want from the shop, like, over the holidays. Super busy week. Happy to be on the edge of the weekend. Hi, kitty. Hi, meow meow. Hi, sweetie. I don't have any info about the Mountain Dew event. Not a clue. I'm not even in the States. I don't have it myself. Oh, you guys can't see. This just looks... You can see a little bit of a whisker, I was going to say. She's getting... There you go. That's the angle. That's the... I got the spot. Adrel Show, thanks for the raid. Not a mountain clue. Not a mountain clue. Oh. She's like kind of picking up her foot. Ow. Sometimes, Kitty, am I not... Ow. Am I not doing a good enough job? Am I not getting the spot? Oh, dear. Hi, honey. You can sit there. That's fine. I can read chat around you. We're good. Oh, yeah. I think I'll probably just make some harmonious horticulture. That's usually like such a safe thing to concentrate on. Let's plan for 3 of them and let's just kind of start there. You know, the important thing is to keep on keep on keeping on. You want to know how lame I am? Is I almost gave my finger a little smooch to kiss it better because I am the self boo-boo smooching model of human being. And then I realized maybe don't do that on stream. 36. I mean, I probably had the silver stuff. I don't hang on to the other stuff, so we're fine there. I think I might have enough, actually. I've got some leftover herbs from other stuff. Just needed the viridescent spores. Concentrate on, you said. Said I'm enchanting, haven't crafted anything for money. The crafting system confuses me. It takes some doing to get your feet wet in it. And there's no like real snappy 2-sentence stream tip way to condense it down to make it accessible. But I will say that it's less work than it was in the last expansion to make gold, because even if you don't know, even if you're not set up perfectly, you can probably do something profitably with your concentration, and everybody's going to have some concentration. So that's kind of nice. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Any add-on that will tell me how much my pets are worth in the auction house? I would look them up on the website undermine.exchange, because that'll tell you both what they're generally worth on your auction house, but also if there's any other servers' auction house where they tend to be more. Because then you could, move it to a different server, sell it there for more gold, and move your gold back. But it'll also give you like a price history. That's Undermine Exchange, which I've remembered the name of today. So we're going to post those up. That's worth about 7k. Went up over 300k, nearly 400. Didn't last long. Yeah. New COD came out at the same time. Hard to say by much exactly. Have you tried to go into Dire Mall West for the small flame sack? Not even this in the slightest. How are you and Kitty doing? We're doing okay, right? We're doing all right. She's not feeling great. She's doing fine during the day, but she's having really rough nights, and that's no fun for her. Back down to 240, 270s. Oh yeah, the WoW token. Anything else that I want to, let me see. Check on any knowledge orders? No knowledge orders. Check on, I know I only put a couple of gold into potions here. I want to make sure that if I do make potions, really? Possibly encouraging. I don't even have overflow or anything. Let me see. So that was telling me that tempered, that for me, even with my lack of full specialization into potions, that I might be able to do well off of tempered. And tempered I know are a really good universal potion, so I think they'll sell. I'm going to do the thing where I make a 10 stack and see if I can move them to see if I feel like it's worth it. So we're going to just do 10 here. So we'll do them with just silver mats. Looks like it should be fine. So I need 40, 120. So we need like another 100 silver mica bloom. And we have exactly enough gilded vials. And then we need another like 36 Thor's spear. The only reason we can do minor amounts of simple math in amounts under 100 is because of crafting. That's the only thing keeping that little section alive in my dusty old brain. Drops from darters. Due to celebration event, going for under 3k. Oh. Hazel, do you feel upside down? I forgot to take a vitamin gummy today. I'm right there with you because I didn't take my vitamin gummies because I'm almost out of them and I wanted to buy more, but they weren't on sale and they're really expensive when they're full price. See, that doesn't look so promising. It looked better before. I'll do one and then I'll post it, but I don't know. That was 5. Oh, the funny thing is I actually have tempered potions that I was using for me, but now that I'm not DPSing for the moment, I think I can probably just post them. Okay, forget those. What about flasks? Because these would have spillover. So if there's anything that's kind of close, chaos or mastery, I could do a little bit of both. And then true sight files are often pretty good. We can do those too. So we'll do those first. Those are easy. So let's go ahead. Let's add. Hang on. I thought that button was gonna do more. I thought there was gonna be more going on. Hello, craft queue. So I want. Okay, so I want to make 50 of those. And then I want to make, let me say, 50 of these. I'm trying to learn this feature. I've never used this before. And the only way for me to learn stuff is usually just by poking around and messing with it. I can't help but notice that these numbers didn't update. I basically want to make 50 of each of them. Not 500. Just 50. It thinks it's going to take an 80k investment and make me 300k of profit, which I really don't believe. So, but what we're going to do... Oh, and it wants me to have a multi-craft rod for the true sight files. That's fascinating. I don't have one, but that's fine. Okay. And then make a shopping list. And then when I open up Auctionator and I search that... No, that was the region search number. Craft sim, craft queue. It is specified the number, like the qualities too. All right, if you say so. Let's just do it as written. Let's just do it exactly as they wrote it up. And if we lose gold, then we learn something. And also, I'm not going to find out if I lost gold because I'm not going to keep a real close eye on what we're making here. But this is nice because it's doing the math for me, which lets me, you know, let the dust get dusty in that little corner of my brain. We can just let that go. Mental math, never heard of her. Fascinating. All right. And it has done the optimization, which is better than what I do. All right. Do I have to remember what I said I would craft? No? So I click on it. Oh, I need to get stuff from my mail. I don't have a multi-craft tool. And that's a normal thing to be as somebody that didn't make 2 tools. All right. Do I have the acuity to make a tool? Of course. Have I done it? No. And I'm getting very defensive about it, apparently. Wah. Okay. I bet you if you surveyed all the players in World of Warcraft and asked them how many carried multiple profession tools, it would not be a high percentage. I'm not saying it's not a good idea. It's a great idea. I'm just saying let's not shame the lazy. Pet mechanical axolotl. Yeah, I think I can actually figure that out. That's probably a protoform synthesis pet. There are some Xerath mortis pets. Here, after I make this batch, we'll do it. How much stats are in a rank 5 tool? I would like to conduct an experiment. I applaud your efforts, I say. By all means, have at it. In the kindest way possible. You're going to have to supply your own data. Oh, lazy. Lazy is life. Why? I'm enjoying the ongoing conversation you're having with yourself and getting defensive about it. I can have these arguments without the input of any other person. It's pretty funny. I've like constructed an imaginary foe. I think lots of people do this. It's like a shower conversation kind of thing. But I've constructed the imaginary adversary who plays the role of chat. And then I have the argument in full without anybody actually needing to pick a fight with me. It's great. We're gonna do these next. Isn't all of Twitch chat an imaginary adversary? Let's drop an argument that hits back. It's got like the little spinny thing the target dummies have. Routine conflicts between my shoulder angels. It's just a sign that you've spent a long time talking to any given entity that you're able to recreate its voice, or at least your perception of its voice in your head. It's like, that's why you go to therapy for a few years, is so that you get the imaginary therapist in your head that's like, you know what your therapist would have said to you. And once you've got that, you can stop paying for therapy because you've got the, you've got the perspective internalized. It might not be your perspective, but at least it can be in there to shout at you when you're doing it wrong. Goes for lots of things. Hi, all. Happy Friday. Hello. I asked a question. Yeah, so I didn't get to your answer yet, but I did say that I think I know at least what category it is. I think it's a Xerath mortis protoform synthesis pet. And it's funny the profit fell. I'll make the rest of them. Oh, you know what I didn't do is any material optimization. So I bought like these gold files and I didn't use them. Yeah, I don't know what those were for. Here, I can at least do one of these things. Protoform synth Xerath mortis. So here's an Ambiston snapper. There's more colors of them. This one is actually pet battle, so you don't need to synthesize that one. That one can be caught as a pet battle. There's more colors though. You've also got where else? Are there more colors? There must be, aren't there? Wasn't there like one from a rare a pet or something? Hang on. Gosh, these things are cute. I love the chickens. Anyway, that's probably the general idea. Can I filter by families and then do... no, it's not like Journal Enhanced. Anyway, that's the thing. Do you have preferred brands of bar soap or shampoo? I 1000% do. And I take it very seriously. It's actually a bit silly. When are we going to see some questing? I wasn't planning on questing on today's stream. I was going to make some gold today. Oh, man. I use lava soap. What's lava soap? Is that when you live by a volcano and you just go bathe in it? Where's the axolotl from? That one is from a Xerath mortis pet battle. Gold making is the quest. Starting to regret not scaling alchemy. Let's see if I can. I like having everything lush. Yeah, if I was like obscenely wealthy, I feel like that would be a go-to, is just have like a monthly lush re-up, but it's not necessary. It's just it just smells really good. Little loyalty to bar soap brands dedicated to herbal essence shampoo. Oh, fascinating. I guess everybody's hair and scalp and everything is different. For shampoo, I used to use Olaplex back when I was processing my hair a lot, but now that I just have short hair and it's natural and I can kind of get away with whatever, I like using the purple bottle with the jumping kangaroo thing. I think it's the Aussie brand stuff because they're huge and they're affordable and the pump bottle's good and it smells nice. And I only need a little bit to wash like this much hair anyway, so it's great. Like I can just buy a pair of them. It's not even that much money and it lasts me forever. The thing I hate with is fighting with shampoo bottle caps in the shower because your nails are like, saturated with water. They're vulnerable to damage. And I hate bending my nails doing that. And I can't I got soft little hands. I can't open stuff like that when the lids get stuck. So having the pump bottle is much better. This is such a mess. Sim mode. Matte optimization. I've really done a poor job of this. At least the other two things, the way I crafted them, were still probably profitable at some point. Oh, that's better. All right. Hang on. What did they want me to do? They wanted me to use all copper stuff. Well, that's not going to happen. What if we use all of these, but then copper these? Yeah, that's fine. Let's just do that. I have silver. Why do I have silver vials? This is a mess. I did not. I had a wire cross somewhere between the shopping list and then the mat assignment. So I'm just going to sell the better vials. I'm just going to get my gold back for those, basically. I'm going to buy the copper ones because I know what I'm doing with those. Just give me 500 home. We'll use them on something. And then we'll just make it the old-fashioned way. Oh, for tough grease, sandpaper bar shape. There you go. Get a pump action shampoo bottle, kind of like a giant sink soap dispenser. That is clever. Redkin frizz dismiss cry every time I have to buy more. That's one of my favorite things about having such short hair is it saves me an actually shocking amount of not just time, but money on hair products. Because even when I was wearing my hair natural and I wasn't straightening it and blow drying it and trying to style it, even when I was just like, I'm just going to let it be, it's still products for curly hair unless you're really going for swamp witch, which is painful because it gets tangled. So like there was always some amount. It was never ending. And at a certain point, I just got sick of it. And I was like, you know what is cute? Bald. Bald with money. You know what I mean? Making selling harmonious horticulture? Yeah. Said profit made hundreds won't sell. I don't do big batches of it. And if it says profit, I do very small batches because sometimes it's profitable because the price is inflated and people wait to buy it until the prices drop. Love the native brand shampoos and body washes. As far as soap, for a long time I was very loyal to the goat's milk lavender soap from, I forget the name of it. It's got a little goat. And then in the packaging, they're like, our goats are weird, but that's okay. And I was like, why are you roasting your goats? I don't understand. I mean, not like roasting them to eat, but you know what I mean? Gosh, I forget the name of it. Anyways, I used to use that and I would buy it in bulk whenever I could find it on sale. But I actually recently just tried like some Dove bar soap because that was on sale. And I'm like, ooh, it smells really nice. And I feel like I'm at a spa. I like the pink ones because they're pink and because they smell nice. So I've just been buying those, but I want to try the lavender one. Isn't this profitable in the sim because of concentration? No, not concentration. Multi-craft and resourcefulness. Because it'll give you a different number if you apply the concentration. Unless I'm dumb, which is possible. Anyway, our overall gold usually goes up, so I'm not going to stress about it too much. But I think it's fine. Because I know that when I click on the concentration, the sim number changes dramatically. So I'm assuming that as long as it's not selected, it's not accounting for concentration. Even though it does kind of have that value underneath it. Anyway, we're going to check these up. That's worth about 16,000 gold. And am I sitting on like buckets of extra materials? We can get rid of these that I'm not using. We can get rid of these. I don't like keeping copper storm dust around. It's easier just not to even have it. Hazel Eyes, thanks for the gift sub. Codes do end up in the situation with Craft Sim a lot. I'm not in a position to be really giving good advice because I don't fully understand the tools that I'm working with. It would be nice if I did, but I just I understand maybe 65% of what I'm looking at, and I just hope that's enough to make gold. And as long as I don't find myself losing gold over time, I noticed on a day-to-day basis, my overall gold count is going up. and it's going up by more than the value of the gathering that I'm doing. So something that I'm doing must be going right, and I just have faith in that. That's good enough for me. Platswimmer, thank you very much for the 65-month resub. Speaking of 65, good morning, good morning. Crafting confuses and enrages me, so I go fish sharks. I don't blame you one bit. So I have some concentration here. No knowledge. Oh, I have an extra one of these. Let's put it up there. Let me have a little look-see at this. We were doing cursed ring enchants actually reasonably well. I can just barely do this. If I go to sim mode for cursed haste and I open up reagent optimization and I assign it, they want me to make this with fully copper mats, and it's going to spit out a silver enchant, and it says that that's profitable. I don't trust it when they want copper mats, because often, maybe it's a little different for these ones, for enchanting mats, but often copper mats are not, there's not enough of them. I think it's different for enchanting though. Let's try one of those and see how we feel. Oh gosh, it feels bad to put 10 writhing samples into something that's not even going to be gold. For cursed crit was looking even better. Oh no, not craft key. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Yeah, it wants copper mats. All right, worth a try. We'll do just one of each. Just for, I know it's only gonna make me like 150 gold. I could make more gold if I like went outside and sneezed, but okay, actually with that in mind, maybe I should do something else. Maybe I should find just like a nice thing to concentrate on, huh? Let's do a scan. We'll do a recipe scan, and we'll scan enchanting. We'll do it with concentration. They've removed that button because they've changed things, and I'm mad about it. I guess they'll just tell me. Thought about getting journal later? I have not thought of that. It's the first I've heard of it. I'm pretty hesitant to add anything, though, because I am already not understanding what I'm doing. I don't want to add anything else when I don't know how to use the tools I have. It's like if you were lost in the kitchen and you were like looking at your potato peeler and your spiralizer and your, I don't know, like a meat thermometer, and you're like, what do I do with this? And somebody's like, you know what you need is one of those apple spinny things. And you're like, maybe, I don't know. Leave me alone. I'm trying to figure out a potato. It's not that it's not a good idea. It's just that I'm already overwhelmed. We're going to make... Gosh, these things are bait. I can't sell them. I just can't sell them. Concentration cost, concentration value. Concentration value is pretty bad for a lot of them, though. Last time I made gold... Well, was it gold ones, actually? Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was the silver ones I was stuck with. Burrowing rapidity. Yeah, well, we'll make like one or two of these. We've got 2 vials of oil, so I'll just get the stuff for 2 of them. I just want one button to press, 2 at most. It's nice that gathering is also valid. That kind of helps here. 8 of these. Tracker of where your gold goes and comes from. True, but I'm still I still don't want any other things. I have enough things. I'm not prepared to mess with anything else. All right. Some days I'm in the mood. Understand. You want the cheese in the bowl. Ever thought of going goblin main with all the gold you're making? Looking more goblin than no. We were joking about making goblin alts for the next patch. Considering getting into selling engineering reagents next or inscription reagents. Alright, so I shattered, which means I got my buff up. That's good. And then we were going to make 2 gold burrowing rapidity. So use my best reagents. And we're going to use concentration. And theoretically, this should be worth about 6k for the pair of them if I had the concentration for both of them, which I do not. So I guess we'll just sit on those mats for next time. Oops. Problem with one button craft sim, everyone could use it. You want it to be complicated enough, you can figure it out, but the average person won't take the time. Yeah, and it's not like the add-on's complicated on purpose. It's that it's almost like the system is complicated on purpose for that reason. It kind of gives a gameplay mode for people that are interested in getting into it. Because you're right, when the the barrier to entry is super low and it's super accessible, profits vanish because you have so many people in the market that it's not worth your time to do any of it. Whereas if you make it more involved, you're going to make it also more, like there's going to be some payoff for your learning, basically. All right. Well, my auctions are currently worth approximately 110, 112, which is at least not worse than what I started off with here. And we've got 42k of them like coming in already, so that's nice. Gold-wise, I used to do like World Quest for gold, but I think we're really better off just gathering. It's not Saturday, it's Friday today. Oh, we've got shark fishing we could do. We've got maybe a little bit of herbing and mining if we're happy with that. Anything else I want to do for like... Oh, you know what? Let's go do a mount off just for fun. Before we get like super socked into our grind here. Let's do an anniversary event mount off. We haven't done a full one in a while. I've been late. GTL. Gambling, tinkering, laundering. I know what they mean, but I like to think that they just really like to keep their clothes clean. How do you set gathering tracker to show gold per hour? There was a checkbox or a setting in the settings somewhere. I don't have it enabled on this character, but if you remind me or if I remember when I log over to my next one after the mount off, I can take a look. Turn on war mode, work on world PvP mount. You've got all kinds of crazy ideas. You have a real knack for making suggestions of valid things to do that I would never do. That's a great idea. I'm glad you had it. What are we doing? Should we do our daily lore question? We'll get 5 time walking patches. Wow. Who is the name of the maid of Harkoa? It's a great question. These two are cats. These two are cats, because these are actually hunter spirit beasts that you can tame. All 3 of them. I don't know about this one, so I'm going to guess the one that's not a hunter spirit beast. And I'm wrong. So you're telling me that if I tame a hunter spirit beast, I'm taking it away from its soulmate? What entity made a pact with N'Zoth? Oh, well, yeah, I got that one. Farming and Ringing Deeps for an hour? The one route from Wowhead article? No, I didn't see the article. I hate farming in the Ringing Deeps because of the crystals. They bait me every time. I fly out of my way and I'm like, oh, it's a blue shard. And then I hate myself. It's not worth the emotional turmoil. I also don't like using pre-described routes. I like kind of winging it. Those crystals are annoying. Hi everyone, how are you? Hello Miss Queenie, I'm doing well, how are you? Wish they would give 500 gold in the dragon purses again. Yeah, crystals. There's like these lootable items that show up with mining tracking, and all they're for is one treasure where you get like 1 crystal of each color, and then you can open a treasure. But even after you've looted the treasure, they still show up on your map, at least I think so. Yeah, they pretend to be ore. They're awful. Alright, so Mount Mania has really fallen off. I guess because there's no reason to continue doing it. But it's fun. Are we ready for some fun? Also, I think I've been streaming a cappella. I haven't had any game sound this entire time. I turned on music. What happened? Hello? I can kind of hear it. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright. Who will fight me?
Get ready for the next match.
We got some people. I don't see them after I loot them and open the treasure. Maybe it's because I did it on my other character then. Can't wait to go and WoW today to do daily quests. Nice. Hunters taming spirit beasts are absolute monsters. You heard it here first. I didn't know they could fall in love.
Get ready for the next mount.
Oh man. Hope you and chat are having a good day. What are you doing? I have a webcam up on a pet bed that's got nobody in it. There's no point to that. Doing that the other day with only 6 people. Mid-mania at Shard Swish, it wound up with like 30 other people. Oh, weird. Yeah, we're 2 for 2. Do you think we can get a 15 of 15? No, we cannot. That is an honor level 250 mount. I will be shocked if I see any of them. It's cool. I will never have this. And that's alright. It's prestigious for a reason. They don't want riffraff like me on that thing. The Maker, thank you for the 6-month resub. Happy half a year.
Up next, we have...
That's a nice kid. chipping away at my birthday, buddy. Have that one. Looking at my honor level of 42, you're almost there. Yeah, I haven't really moved my honor level in a long time. I think I'm, at least unless I change my mind, I'm feeling pretty done with PvP. I don't feel like the things it offers me are worth the energy anymore. And I think that's okay. If we ever feel the itch again, we can go back in. But there's just too many other things that are more fun for me. PvP was always really fun after I was like 150 hours in, and I'd really gotten a feel for the whole meta and the season and my character and my strats and the comps. That was when I liked it. The first 150 hours to get to that point were brutal. And it's got great cosmetics, but they're just not important enough to me. I can live without them. Sun will probably continue to go up and come down. Oh. Compass rose. Lost my sync there for a second. Oh, it's because I'm not targeting Abigail. Here we go. I only liked in Legion those sporadic world quests. Yeah, that was the best way to do it. Comp Stump Week, how I get my levels.
Get ready for the next mount.
Trying to survive the getting dark at 4 p.m. weather. Oh. Wow, she's really rubbing it in. Yeah. It's pretty rough. I was looking at our weather forecast because this morning was the first day that it was cold enough to see people out in the streets scraping ice off their windshields. And I was looking at like the weather and I was like, oh, it's gonna rain. It's gonna rain, and it's gonna rain tomorrow. It's gonna rain a lot tomorrow, and then it's gonna keep raining, and then it's gonna continue raining, and then there's going to be more rain. It's just like the 10-day forecast was just like water for the foreseeable, indefinite future. I do have text in the search, but it doesn't really matter. I just looked one up. I have it syncing the journal, so it matches to whatever she's on anyway. How much gold are you missing? Another like 500k, maybe 600k? Really miss emissaries. Yeah. Thought we were getting those back, but instead we got special assignments. You got a boat. I got a boat. I had a crab. Does that mean you'll become a mermaid? Oh! Oh, about the weather. Yeah, no. I wish... Well, do I wish I had a boat? People with boats want to get rid of their boats. Yeah. Seems like a good idea. Just float on down the street. The nice thing about living in a place where it rains a lot is that the infrastructure is pretty well set up to deal with it. It takes a lot of rain for it to be an actual problem in this city. There's good drainage, you know. It'll pour and there'll be water running in the streets, but it does go down, which is nice. I haven't seen like a proper flood in this city since I moved here. Big ol' rubber ducky. Yeah. My partners keep saying we should go fishing, and I keep looking at the weather being like, oh, we'll see. I don't know about all that. Wish I had a boat that I could want to get rid of, right? I just want like a little house or a condo or something that's mine, and then I can sit in it and be like, look at it, it's mine. Isn't it ugly? Sometimes I look at real estate listings and they have the most hideous paint jobs. And you can repaint, obviously, but knowing myself, what I would do is I would buy the place with a horrible paint job. Just the most garish, loud, lurid colors possible. And I would move in because I'd be like too busy or overwhelmed to like paint while buying the place, right? I would just move in and be like, I'll deal with this later. And then I would live with these colors for like 5 years before I finally get sick of it. What fish are you going to target? I'm going to target the staying home and being warm fish. It's the one that you can get delivered from the seafood shop while you sit on your couch with a hot cup of coffee. What do you think about the announcement of player housing? I'm very excited. Hang sheets on the walls. Or you could do like, if you didn't want to repaint, you could do like peel and stick wallpaper, I bet would be a good workaround to kind of buy you time. Because then you could just take it down and repaint whenever you're ready to actually do it. If you want to actually do it, or maybe you could just like the wallpaper. I was looking at this really ugly kitchen and I'm like, how much contact paper do we think it would take to make these cabinets less awful? We did it! We won! Alright. Gold making it is. Because, yeah, when the auctions come in, we're going to be worth about 960k? Something like that. That'll be kind of nice. Let's get over a mil today. Let's get past a mil. That would be nice. Come back up, sweetie. Come back up. How do you feel about the goblin content? I'm actually really excited. I think it looks really cool. I think it looks like a great change of pace, you know? Like just something different. Something kind of fresh and exciting. Oh, yeah. There we go. I love this transmog. I thought I would get sick of it because the shark cat hides my gnome's hair, but then I haven't gotten sick of it. It's amazing. I don't think any fish goes well with coffee. You've got a point there. I couldn't think of any other beverage to say. I had a dream where somebody tried to serve me champagne, and I felt like really awkward because I wanted to say no, but I wanted to celebrate, but I didn't want to drink. It's not a very interesting or exciting dream. And in the dream, I like smelled it so I could try to come up with some excuse as to why I didn't want to drink it, as though that's more polite, like sniffing it and going, no, thank you. Actually, that's not really from France. Getting all the pink summer stuff from Siren Isle. Gosh, I need to learn more about Siren Isle so I can summon any reason to be excited about it, because I watched the original preview and I felt nothing. We'll have 2 mimosas. Hold the OJ. Love that you can level Earthen with just exploring. Alright, we got some time up on our buffs. I promised to take a look at the gathering tracker settings to show gold per hour. So I believe what you want to do is, first of all, collapse display is nice. Because that lets you not run around with it being huge like this. So it gives you the overall one. And then secondly, display gold per hour. It's under look and feel and session display options. I have that showing me my gold per hour. There we go. Hopefully whoever asked is still around. Okay. Let's turn on our farm HUD. If anybody comes by being like, what are these green reticles? That's the answer. That's farm HUD. It's an add-on that's linked right there. And I have my Darkmoon Firewater up. I have my True Sight file up. I have my feet in my toe oven. I have a little foot warmer under my desk because I'm very smart and clever. We're keeping an eye out for blood pools so that we can fish up, hopefully, Kaheti Slum Sharks. Those are very much worth it. They're still like 800 plus gold each. And then in the meantime, I pretty much get anything. The right and efficient thing to do is to specifically get certain things, but I'm not that smart. So we're not gonna do that. Yeah, it's glimmer pools. What is the green thing I just got here? Kermit the Frog. It's a good add-on. Yeah, it's just kind of overlaying your minimap nodes over the center of your screen so you don't have to like squint to look at your minimap. It's kind of nice if you're just flying around herbing at any kind of considerable speed. And then, if anybody asks, my gathering speed comes from A, the firewater, B, my specialization points, which is the same thing that lets me gather while mounted, and then thirdly, a bit strange, but allying with the Weaver in Ajkahet, when you pick your Severed Threads Pact, if you pick the Weaver and you have some rep with her, you'll actually get a really strong crafting and gathering speed buff for all of the characters in your account. So I don't even do it on this character, but I just make sure that on my main, I went and picked the Weaver for the week and I have her rep done so that I get that 30% extra gathering speed. And it makes a really big difference. It makes it so that you have to really mess up to not have things gathered. Okay, all right. That could not have been more perfectly constructed to contradict me. Usually you can gather without having to get off your mount and fight anything. You know, unless there's like 30 fungal mancers right on top of you, you're all set. Gotten all the 20th anniversary tokens you wanted? No, but I haven't done any BRD. I figure I just do my weeklies every week and then I buy a few more sets, because the anniversary event's like not over for a while, right? Like it's gonna keep going in through like the winter, so I figure I don't actually need to go out of my way to farm them at all. I can just kind of do my rep weeklies. There we go. I can just kind of do my weeklies, get my tokens that way, and then I should be able to buy. I just want the sets and the I want the tier 2 sets just to kind of have them, I guess. I want the Hang on. You didn't go away. Sometimes if you fly away too fast after you get a finesse proc, you'll just loot the proc and you won't loot the actual node and you need to go back and get it again. For overloads, I'm going to do irradiated herbs and I'm going to try to clone either lure drops or Erythor's spears. Probably spears. It's pretty straightforward. And then for ore, it's kind of tricky. I can do, if I'm paying attention, what I should be doing is I should be doing overloading easy mines because I'm actually fully spec'd into that. But sometimes I do weeping or webbed instead because they're just a little bit easier. And there's a lower risk of certain death. Wondering if I should invest in caged anniversary pets to resell in a couple of years. I mean, there's no harm in like sticking them in your bank, assuming that they are cageable. No harm in having a few in the bank. Although I will say, whenever I've tried to do that in the past, those things rot in my bank for like 10 years because that's about as long as it takes me to go back into the dark basement cellars of my bank. Where's all the stuff? Hello? Excuse? Oh, crazy. So the game that we like to play here is keeping an eye on the gathering tracker and trying to drive the gold per hour buff, the average gold per hour, up. My target is about 30k per hour, so we're not doing great yet. We're not doing so hot. Part of it's going to be luck-based as to what you find and what kind of procs you get. Part of it's going to have to do with how much profession knowledge you've gathered and what you put it into, what kind of tools you have. And then part of it is whether or not you've been able to find any blood pools and get any slum sharks, because those are so valuable that that's going to make a big impact to your bottom line. Also, the other nice thing about just hanging out in the zone is it usually helps me remember that I want to kill Belladar at least once a day. And we can do that. We have another hour until it comes up, but it should come up eventually.
The lamplighters are
my crafting add-on was Craft Sim.
For the Arathi to survive, we must settle in lands shadowed from Belladar's light.
Is that gonna hit me?
The darkness strikes out with threats not even our key flames can dispel. Aid us, outsider. Be our beacon in the darkness.
That's why you should use a shaman. They can get blown up and then get back up. I've heard a lot of recommendations for gathering characters. I think that's the first time I've heard somebody recommend a shaman for Ankh. That's funny. It would work. It would get the job done. You do a High Mountain Torn Shaman and have the deafness and the Ankh. Oh gosh, it's so high. I'm not even going to be able to get it. Oh no, I can't.
Use the torchlight
If it wasn't an Erythor spear, I wouldn't worry about it. But those are pretty good.
Remind them of the strength that we all share.
I don't know anything about the Mountain Dew event. It doesn't really sound up my alley. I was gonna say, you guys, how cute is my cat right now? But you can't actually see her because there's some of a cat. There's part of a kitty. Oh, alright, we found our first irradiated node. This is very exciting. This means that I can duplicate something. So I just need to remember that I have that. Keep an eye out. Next spear we find, ideally. I would also probably do a lure drop if it came to it. But you only have 5 minutes, and I'm kind of notorious for forgetting that I have this. There we go. There's a spear right there. That's so lucky. It never happens to me. No? Nice. So that gave me an extra value of about 20 gold for my overload, because I got one extra node of Erythor Spear and it gave me one copy. It's pretty bad. Sometimes you get luckier than that. The original overload might have given me leyline residue though, which I think is also worth, because that's probably your most valuable like perception proc. The answer is extremely cute. We don't have to see to know the answer. Yeah. Corporate collaborations feel really strange to me. Yeah, I don't love the vibe. I'm just trying not to worry about them, but they really packed their slate with them. It's like I've already been advertised to and sold. I am in a consumer position consuming a paid-for product right now. And it's like, it's just advertisingception, right? It's like you're already buying a thing. I bought the thing. I like for once I've bought something, it's nice if I'm not being advertised to more, right? You know, we pay the monthly sub fee, right? And then we also sometimes enjoy microtransactions. And we've, by and large, stopped griping about it. And then it's just more advertising inside of it, like it's not monetized enough. You know, like if I'm watching YouTube and I want to not have advertisements, I pay for it. But you pay for WoW and you still get advertising. I think that's the thing that feels gross about it to me, is just the capitalismception, you know. It's not that it's anything new or anything that we don't already do or like haven't seen before. But I don't have it in me to be like excited about it or happy that they did it, you know. It's like, oh wow, oh boy, they're gonna market soft drinks to us. Like, it's a crossover, it's advertising. I'm not a big crossover person either. I don't really want them to mix and match IPs. I feel like mixing and matching IPs cheapens them to me. It's just my own take and how I feel. It's not like a market science thing. It just, you know, it just starts feeling a little bit like action figures. Switch to griping silently, because you get banned from channels if you complain about the same thing every day. That's the truth. That's even true here. Well, okay, I don't have my overload off cooldown yet. How do you stay in your mount to loot? Specialization points. There are nodes for mining and for herb that you can put points into, and once you've reached the end of it, it lets you just gather while mounted. Didn't like the Overwatch crossovers? I don't even remember. I don't even know what the Overwatch crossovers are. I don't mind references. Like, if they just do like a little tongue-in-cheek reference to, you know, like they make a character that's got an NPC name or kind of a likeness to another character, that doesn't bother me as much. That's kind of cute, especially if it's something that you can ignore and never notice in the first place, and they don't need you to interact with it or do anything. They're just like, oh, hey, this, you know, I'm trying to think of an example, but this Draenei kind of seems like a Protoss. Like, it's just kind of cute, but I don't know, the Hearthstone expansion they're doing, where it's like StarCraft Hearthstone, is just, even though those are both Blizzard IPs, which are kind of like the least egregious example of this to me, it's just weird. I don't know. It's like, what are you doing here? Get back in your own game. But this is just, at some point, just woman yelling at trees. It's not going to change anything. They're going to make their money. And I'm not exactly in a position to throw stones. It's not like I would never do advertising, so. They made a Tehran and Illidan skin for Symmetra and Genji. Yeah, not a problem, just not something that I'm gonna get excited about. It was like, imagine if they put on the trading post like a, and I'm still trying to think within the Blizzard thing. Like, imagine if they put on the trading post and it's just like a, I don't know. I'm trying to think of other IPs. All I can think of is Kermit the Frog. A Muppets crossover would actually probably be the only one I could get behind. I would wear a Snuffleupagus outfit, but that's where I draw the line.
Low on supplies. Recover what tools you can.
Muppets would be so good. Forget Mountain Dew. Call up Jim Henson. It's fine. It's not gonna ruin my day. Muppets, but make it Plunderstorm. No, I want a Draenei Protoss transmog. How is our gold per hour doing? We're stuck at about 19k today. We were doing better yesterday. Same buffs. I could overload a mining node if I find one that I want to do. getting a little better. If I recall, there's a Muppet Easter egg in BFA Zandalar. Mountain Dew's banned in most of Europe, and where it's not banned, the formula's changed to not include harmful ingredients. I need a new topic. I need something else I can talk about where I'm not just going to be complaining. That's not the energy I want in my day. What else we got? I'm thinking. Pie. Do you ever, and I will understand if you don't, take photos of particularly beautiful or exciting slices of pie that you get in your life? And so that you can like reminisce on them later and be like, oh man, I need to go back to that one place. Which, as I say these words, kind of sounds like a euphemism, but I'm really talking about pastry here. We're on the same wavelength. What man are you farming lately? Belladar, I suppose. I'm doing at least 1 kill a day on Belladar. And at some point this week, I need to do my Keyflame weeklies, because I want to keep trying for the Dauntless Imperial Links. I might do that tomorrow. Let's do a little overload here. So what I want to do is mine it first. Oh, for heaven's sake. It's just going to blow up, isn't it? I didn't even finish mining it. I just went nearby it. Alright, well, mine it first. And then overload it. And then we mine. One more. And then you move. That was actually worth it. I got 4 gold bismuth from that. That was actually quite good. I will do that again next time. Yeah, what if you need a good pastry to be inspired? Easy mines are bait. It was better than any of my other overloads in terms of value. It's just, you gotta be on your toes. I will remember the almond croissant I had last week for a while. Maybe I'll get another tomorrow morning. I do that routinely whenever I go to a boulangerie with amazing pastries. I just invented how to pronounce that. I probably ruined it. Iron Claw. I think that the Slum Shark strat has spread. I think people are catching on to it. It's much harder to find unsupervised blood pools in the sun. French did it well. Aw, thank you. Natural. Sorry, the repressed memories of a French class. You guys are very kind. Every now and then I'm like, you should go on another Duolingo kick. Those are really fun. And then I'm like, what am I going to do? Say 7 French words on stream and then be like, wow, can you please congratulate me? I tried. Anglophone Canadian wants cookie for saying 4 words in French. Relearn Korean. The trouble is that I don't actually know anybody that speaks Korean or have any place in my life where I would need Korean. At the time, I was like, yo, all the esports jobs are working either in Korea or with Korean players, so having this will be really good for my resume, because I don't know, maybe I was going to be like an esports coordinator or something. I've let that dream fully go, because it's a lot easier and nicer to just stay home and do this. And it turns out I don't so much need to know any Korean. I watch K-dramas. Not anymore. I used to. I had a phase. But I haven't been consuming that content in a long time. Okay, well, we're still only at 20k per hour. What's going on? Maybe I should try a different zone. Maybe I should try the Ringing Deeps route. The Ringing Deeps isn't gonna have, actually, maybe they'll have stuff. I don't actually know what the route is. I could just, like, invent it. I could just do labs. Sometimes the route is just labs. Stick to the edges. That used to be the Ungrow Crater. I used to do thorium mining in Ungrow Crater, and literally the route was circles. You just go in circles around the edge of the zone. It was great. Anyone have Netflix K-drama Rex? Would love a new one to watch. Miss them. I tried to get back into them last year because I wanted something cheesy to watch on TV. I wanted something that was kind of like over, like melodramatic, and I tried, and I don't have the patience for it anymore. They're not usually paced in a way that's super. You have to like kind of invested first. At least the ones that I like. The really short web drama ones are shorter, but it just didn't do it for me. Speaking of cookies, I'm still gonna make cookies. I think I decided on shortbread. I just need to decide on when. I wanted them last night, but then I was so tired. I was having one of those nights where it was like 6 o'clock at night, so like dinner time basically. And I'd made it through dinner and whatever. And I was like, okay, I can't really go to bed until 9 unless I want to be up in the middle of the night. So we gotta hold on. But I was like really struggling to stay awake until 9. I ended up doing some keys, and we actually timed some. I got my Stone Vault portal, which was very exciting. Well, let's mine this, and then we'll... Oh, we don't even have our overload available. Yeah, we timed a 10 Stone Vault and some other stuff, and that filled some time, which was really great. I was surprised that it went well considering how tired I was, but we made it work. Turns out that healing is not done in the part of the brain that gets sleepy. It's just all in the muscle memory. Maybe like migrate. We'll start flying vaguely in the direction of the Ringing Deeps, and then we'll see if we can improve our per hour up there. Because I was doing better in the zone yesterday, but it's just not happening right now, so. Although, you know what I should do is I should loot that treasure. I've already looted it on a different character, so I don't actually need the thing from it anymore. Whatever it was, it might just be rep. But just having it to make the thing stop showing up would be worth it. Hazel? I did something good today. What did you do, Scarlet? Finished 2 Mythic Nighthold sets in 1 run. Nice. That is satisfying. Oh, I should have cloned that one. Actually, maybe I can still do it. You can still do it. There's a good tip that people have been trying to tell me for like 5 days, is that even if you've looted the thing, you can still clone it. It is technically there for you to overload or use a thing on. What's an FE? I'm glad we're not literally eliminating people, though. Listen, if you're gonna have a hit person arc, that's the kind of thing that you need to not talk about on the internet. Oh, life. Gotcha. Oh. I thought maybe this was some youth slang that I hadn't got caught up on yet. You're kind of my portal to the young people. You are my touchstone that connects me to your generation. Hazel, you'd make a great hit person. I mean, I don't know if you would see it coming. It would be maybe not expected, which I guess is a benefit. Fatality. Also iron. Hello, fellow youths. That's me. I am on the TikTok. Still pretty young. I'm young, but I ain't Gen Z. I'm not even a little bit Gen Z. I'm a firm millennial. And Gen Z aren't even the youngest ones anymore. There's alphas running around out there. Like, or toddling, but in some cases running. Elder millennials, I think I'm like a middle millennial. I was born in 92. The elder millennials actually have mortgages. I just want one. I can never get up. I think I need to go up that path there on the right. Older millennial have a lot of Gen X qualities. Alpha, new one makes me feel so old. Elder millennial watching your vids since Cataclysm. I don't mean to, I don't, with the least possible amount of judgment, I didn't start making videos until Mob. It might not have been me. It may have been somebody else. Unless we mean Cataclassic. 40 born in 84, still renting. Baby boomer, born 1957. What are years anymore? I know, right? I started playing the game in, I was gonna say Cataclysm, but like late Wrath. I just don't count my Wrath experience because I was all over the place. I was a big mess. I was a newbie noob. With hindsight, starting Generations at X was not the best planning. Birthday 2 days ago, went over to the beach. Did you ever visit Rockaway? The name doesn't ring a bell. So I'm gonna say probably not. The only beaches I ever really went to were Newport and the one with Haystack Rock, which I think is also kind of Newport. Or maybe that's not Newport. Maybe that's the other one. Wrath, baby. Baby from Wrath. Have you thought of what you're gonna name your hardcore warrior? Oh man. Should I just make an orc called Grok? North of Tillamook. Yeah. Born in 80, tend to claim myself as Gen X over Millennial. I mean, at a certain point, unless you're just like scrolling Yahoo articles, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, like, what generation you're part of doesn't come up much outside of Culture Wars Online. It's not something that people are like asking for on forums or anything like that. They just want your birthday. My mom's Gen X. Does Yahoo still exist? Unfortunately. I don't know what they're doing, but it's always very dramatic. So we're gonna mine this, and then we're gonna overload it. And then we are mining. We get 3. And then we get out. Because 3 is the amount that I have time for. I don't know how you get more than 3, just like tons of deafness maybe? This looks like the Ringing Deeps. Yeah, I'm seeing my gold per hour was pretty anemic. We were a little bit light in the last zone, so I'm just kind of trying something new. I'm infuriating like that. I didn't look up the route though. I'm just gonna kind of do laps. 10 more years, people are gonna start asking you what expansion you were born. That is a cursed sentence. Good grief. Hey, so what expansion were you born in? Stand outside the radius, mine one more. I'll try that. Notice the trackers at a weak core. That is an add-on called Gathering Tracker, which I have a link to in my add-on spreadsheet. And then the green reticle is Farm Hunt. What were your touchstones as a kid? Totally missed Pokemon, for instance. Yeah. And that one's, like, that's a good question. It's not going to work for everybody, though, because sometimes people just miss the big cultural touchstones of their generation, depending on, like, where they lived and what kind of things they did or didn't do. You know, if you grew up under a rock, not that I would know. If you grew up under a rock, you might have missed a few things that other people were super into. Oh, wow, this is like a sneaky... I'm going to fish that. You know anyone like that? No. You want to play the which movies has Hazel not seen game? Make some people mad. I think I was born during Warcraft 2. Oh, I think that was actually the only thing from that node. The node's gone now. Yeah, well. That was not worth it. I think blood pools can technically spawn in any zones. But I only ever really see them in the bottom two, in Hallowfall and then in Ajka Head. But I think you can find blood pools anywhere. Oh, it's gone. College friends poke fun at me for not having seen any defining films besides Star Wars. Yeah, like I understand wanting to bond over pieces of media. And it is fun when you've like got a shared experience like that, but I also don't understand when people like rip into somebody for not having seen something like it's a sin. You know, maybe they were doing something else. Maybe they're busy, you know? Maybe they don't like movies. Silly poking. Sometimes people just don't let it go, though. Days not as many shared experiences. Infinite content creators split people's views. Yeah, it's kind of funny because on one hand, some things spread really wide when they would have been very niche before, and they're more universal than they ever were. But on the other hand, you're totally right. Like, everything gets very fragmented, and everybody's kind of in their own little bubbles. So something that might seem like a huge deal and a massive piece of news to some people is something that other people haven't even heard of. In my experience, the less that you're hearing about, the happier you're going to be. Because the vast majority of it is not designed to do you any good or make you feel nice. I like how when Kira's sitting in the big bed, she makes sure that she's using the space really efficiently by tucking herself like real tight into the corner. You know, she doesn't want to like she won't like starfish. I've never seen her like fully like flop out and take up like as much space as she can. She's always just like very politely tucked into a corner. You blew up that torrent. Listen, the torrent was blowing up themselves. They were at it before I ever got there. Wish there was more to gain from the derby. I had so much fun grinding it. I feel like I farmed the right amount of stuff from it, though. I don't feel like I need to do any more of it. It would have lasted me longer if I hadn't started doing, like, 15 characters a week. But I quite like doing 15 characters a week. I had kind of a good time. Oh, goodness, I'm kind of struggling over here. Oh, there's an easy wing. Alright, I need you guys to talk to me about the preferred format of shortbread. Do you like soft shortbread? Hard shortbread? Are we talking like the Scottish bricks? Are we talking like little delicate ones with little bits of maraschino cherry on them? Do you want anything else involved, or do you just want like a straight shortbread flavor? Finally, right? Long shortbread. You've been waiting for this topic, I know. Shortbread. You don't have anything? You don't have anything? Have you ever had shortbread? Do you like it? It's basically just like a really fancy way to eat butter. Not even that fancy. It's basically just a way to eat butter without just taking a stick of butter and going om nom nom. Firm shortbread. No shortbread. I thought I could go all day without hearing maraschino, and now I'm mad. I lost a bet. Shortbread's so good. It's usually a Christmas thing around here. But it's November, and also, you know, there's no rules. I pay my rent. I can do whatever I want in my house. Short of crimes. Crumbly, but not soft. Yeah. I don't want it super hard. My mom's recipe is actually like a little bit soft. It's not like soft like a sugar cookie, but sort of trending in that direction a little bit. Cat commits the household crimes for you. Thought they were a crunchy biscuit. They certainly can be a crunchy biscuit. They're usually, the really good shortbread will melt in your mouth. It's bismuth. I want it because it's bismuth. There you go. As long as you don't get caught, you could even do crimes. That's what I joke about whenever I'm looking at like a condo or a townhouse and it's like kind of suspiciously cheap but it looks kind of nice. I'm like, listen, why? Which neighbors are making meth? You know, like which side do I have to be worried about here? Like bread in general, does that count? That counts pretty good with me. Murder house. I mean, there would be, I was gonna say good stories for stream, but I don't think those are the stories that we want. I want to tell stories about, like, exciting birds that I saw, not, you know, exciting police that came to the next door. We're getting some use out of the farm hunt button today. Love that you have a cat cam. Never caught one of your lives. Started watching the stream at work. Thoroughly enjoying this. I like showing Miss Kira. Sometimes there's dog, but it's pretty rare. I have a dog. The bed was originally for him, but he's the cat's kind of claimed it, and he's made his peace with that. Have you ever talked to the police? I don't know if we're doing like a rap lyric thing, or if we're actually asking a question. We're probably actually asking a question. I must have, but I can't remember. Oh, I did. Ooh, I don't like that story. I have, but well, let's not worry about it. It wasn't about me. I wasn't personally, specifically in trouble. Say that much. Got to see a few Blue Jays this year. Ooh, that's fun. No police needed when I ran into the gate. That was a victimless crime. I talked to the place that owned the gate, and I left them like my contact info and stuff. They had it because it's my vet. Prettiest bird you've ever seen in the wild? Oh, that's hard. But I've seen some great blue herons quite close up fishing, because sometimes they're fishing where I'm fishing and they're beautiful. But sometimes you see bald eagles really close here too, and those are gorgeous. And then there's like lots of really pretty smaller birds, like the northern flickers around here are a really good one. I love those. And they have like a really cool, interesting, it sounds like a hawk cry, but it's not. It's like this little woodpecker looking thing. Have you gone back to the gate? No, actually, because after that one vet visit, Kira needed the specialist vet, so we've been going to the specialist one. Bald eagle sounds so funny. Yeah, they kind of lost the bird naming lottery, because they have beautiful feathers on their head. They're just white when they're adults. I like ravens a lot too. Ravens are really beautiful, and they're so fascinating. And I love listening to them. I think they've got the most beautiful calls. They do so many interesting things with their voices. They can mimic stuff. I like telling the story about when I was fishing in this by the ocean, and there was a raven that was just going ham doing the whoop whoop sound that was somebody like locking their car. And maybe they just wanted to make that sound anyway. They didn't learn it, but I bet you anything someone locked their car with that, like up at the parking lot of the park, and this raven heard it and went, yo, that's sick, and was just like quoting it all day. Particularly fond of magpies. Aliens probably call us bald primates. I'm sure that I look hideous to any animal with fur. I bet you Moose thinks I'm like, I bet my dog, I bet you he thinks I'm like that weird ugly bald thing that he likes. You know? Treasure. These are worth it because sometimes you can fish nullstones out of them. Yeah, my gold per hour sucks today. He just thinks you're cold, probably. You must be cold all the time. I mean, he is right. I am cold all the time. I am wearing a wool shirt with a fleece-lined flannel hoodie over it, and then fleece-lined sweatpants, and I have my feet in an electric fleece-lined foot warmer right now. And I'm indoors. I take being warm very seriously because it's a struggle for me. Favorite fast food? Is Chipotle fast food? I like the tofu burrito. And now the heat's not on 25. You think I've made of money? I'm gonna need a lot more Prime subs if we want to turn the heat up in this place. It is tough. Yeah, I've heard good things about McDonald's coffee, but I don't do takeout coffee very often because I like making coffee at home and it's much cheaper. Sometimes, Impossible Whopper at Burger King is actually, like, if you're really in the mood for, like, fast food and you are a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever, that sometimes goes hard, but I have to be careful when I eat them because they're so salty that I need to drink, like, 2 liters of water after, and also not do it within, like, 5 hours of bedtime, so it's kind of not worth it. I've stopped doing it. I was on a little bit of a veggie burger kick for a while, but I can't, it was just so hard on my body. We've put that down. The funny thing about the heaters is I don't actually set them to a temperature. Like, they're just like little dial ones, and you could set them to a temperature, but I found that they're hideously bad at actually maintaining that temperature. So what you do instead is you just keep a thermometer around independently of the heater, and then you turn it up whenever you want to turn it on until you hear it click, and then whenever you want to turn it off, you just turn it the other way until you hear it click. So I'll have my heater set to like 5 degrees unless I want to turn it on, and then you turn it up to like 25, but you're keeping an eye on how long you have it left on for because the actual temperature regulation function of it sucks. And I've done that for years. It's never been a problem. T-Bell. Salt and carbs. Foot warmers are the best. Thanks for sharing that. Would have never known. Did you get one? Did anybody get a foot warmer because of me? That's funny. Man, this is even worse gold per hour than the last thing. I wonder if my values just tanked, and if that's my problem. Let me do another auctioneer scan. Maybe that'll make my numbers better. Hello? I mean, I know I haven't got a single slum shark, so that's probably helping. I did. Nice. Does yours get, like, crazy hot? Because even when I set mine to 1, I still have to be careful because it can burn my feet if I'm not careful. Like, even the lowest setting gets, like, really hot. I had a dream where my feet were so burned and covered with blisters, and the blisters were, like, popping and, like, exploding sticky goo onto everything that was in range of them while I was trying to walk. That might make you want foot warmers less. Don't get me wrong, I haven't actually burned my feet to that degree, but I guess I was worried about it because I had a dream. It was a pretty bad dream. Can get to hot. Made it to level 3. There's 9 levels. Oh man, I keep mine on 1 and I still have to take my feet out of it sometimes, but then again, mine is cheap drop shipped garbage, so it's probably not very safe. Mine goes up to 6, and I'd hate to hear what 2 through 6 are. What if I have it backwards? What if 6 is low and 1 is high, and that's my problem, is I've been keeping it on the hottest setting. I'm going down to Ashgahet. Maybe the grass is greener over here, who knows? We're still making some gold. It's just not very exciting or impressive amounts of gold. But, you know, if we do it for another... Actually, I've, there we go. True site file. I have, I wonder how long I was flying around without a true site file, actually. I'm pretty sure my gold per hour was still bad before then, but it was probably much worse after. Doesn't have to be greener, just more plentiful. Same temp here in Portland that it is in BC, and I'm wearing shorts outside. My partner wears shorts. He's probably wearing shorts right now. It's just different people. I'm just one of those people that's, like, always cold. We're sure the per hour thing isn't one sheep or ruining your totals? Oh yeah, I was gonna do, like, a scan. I don't remember if I actually did it. I meant to. I got a nullstone. I meant to do a scan. Just to re-up my data here. Because, yeah, it's using auctioneer data, so it'll take whatever I have as the scan totals. Partner right, shorts are way of life. I think it's very individual. We established this in a previous stream. We decided that some people are exothermic and then some people are born to suffer. And we've already had the conversation and dismissed the suggestion of talking to a doctor about it because I'm pretty sure this is just my life. And also, let me just go to the doctor store and just get a doctor from the doctor tree. Yeah, I guess all the scans are making my gold per hour worse because it's time that I'm stopping to scan instead of continuing to farm. I'm born to suffer. With a doctor coupon, exactly. That's right. That's right. I thought it would get better once I started exercising more frequently, and a little bit, but not really. I think the problem is just that I sit still for too long. Like, if I'm sitting completely still for 3 hours during stream, and I get up to stretch my legs once, that's not enough to get my blood flowing. I'm just not going to be... I'm warm enough if I'm up and moving around and stuff. It's just that if I'm parked up somewhere, I get really cold. Even if I'm just like, if I'm watching a movie or on the couch or whatever, I can be in all the blankets and in all the warm clothes, and I still need a hot water bottle. There has to be a heat source. That's what I've learned, is no amount of insulation is going to help you if there's no heat being generated in the first place. I've never tried streaming from a stand-up desk, no. You can go around YouTube and you can find all kinds of people telling you, oh man, you gotta do the standing desk, or you gotta sit on the floor, or you gotta do the kneeling chair, or you gotta do the walking treadmill under the desk. That would probably keep me warm. There's lots of ideas. I'm sure they work. I'm sure they have differing levels of value for different people. My view is that I shouldn't really be at the desk for that long in one sitting anyway. And that I don't need to make the desk super complicated. I need to get up more often and take breaks. And it's more or less working for me. I haven't died yet. Standing desk with treadmill is the newest meta. Yeah. Train Moose to sitting in your lap. He was sitting on my lap this morning and it was really funny because it's kind of tough to do because he's pretty big. And he'd kind of wedged himself onto one of my hips and I was giving him hugs and he was just kind of wagging his tail like, hi, yes, thank you. And I really love having a dog that will tolerate me cuddling him because most dogs don't really like to cuddle. It's not a natural thing for them. So having Stockholmed my dog into it, I'm quite satisfied. He's really cuddly. He's really soft and fluffy. Nice exclamation treadmill affiliate link. I don't love, and I do this all the time too, so it's not like I'm not a hypocrite, but I feel like it's so easy in modern society, especially with, you know, all of the social media and the TikTok and stuff, if you're consuming a lot of it, to have like some solution to a problem that was arguably not even a big problem. And the solution is to buy a thing. Buy a thing for a couple $100 or $50 or whatever it is that came from China, and that will solve all of your problems. And you can watch all these videos about how great the thing is. And it's only really become like a trend in the last couple of years. And most of these things, they probably do help. And some people will kind of stick with them forever, but for a lot of things, it's just going to kind of come and go. You're going to go back to maybe a less fussy way of managing the problem that's a little bit less, you know, designed to sell you something. And then it's like, human beings have made it for so many hundreds of thousands of years. Do we really need all of like the weird little gadgets, or is the internet just running out of things to sell us? I think I'm just getting cynical about marketing, which is a terrible thing to be when you're trying to be an influencer. It's real hard to take anything in your inbox seriously when you're like, nobody needs any of this, you know? Just eat good food, see your friends and family, get some nice exercise, get a little outside time if you like it, and live your life, you know? You're gonna live your life no matter what. Get off the screen. It's a bad idea to have as an influencer, because I should want you to be on the screen buying the things, but you know. I don't want anyone buying stuff they don't need. I shouldn't be buying stuff I don't need. No, I would have no data on how many PCs were sold through my link. It wasn't set up in a way like that. I wasn't on commission. I was on retainer. Yeah, I mean, and you can promote de-influencing, but you can only really do that profitably for so long because there's not a whole lot of money to be made in not selling stuff. And I mean, like I said, I'm a big hypocrite. I do have to pay my rent at the end of the day, or my mortgage if I ever get one. So it's kind of for the best if we don't get too carried away and get too crunchy. Because also, like, if somebody's happy buying something, you know, they do some retail therapy and they feel better and they have the money to do it and they're satisfied with their solution, who am I to tell them they're doing something wrong, right? I bought a slap choppy thing like the rest of us. And you know what? I use it. Every time I'm making anything with onions, it makes them into nice little pieces for me, and then I don't have to mess around slicing up onions. It's worth it to me. You just have to be real careful cleaning it because it will slice your fingers to bits. The economy would collapse if people stopped buying things they don't need. It's never going to happen, and I don't have the socio-political background to even have any idea of how to suggest where it would start, because it wouldn't happen anyways. But like, there's an alternate universe where we're not buying things we don't need, we're not making things we don't need, and all of these resources are focused on supporting things that people actually do need, and it's probably better on the environment too. You know, all of the tens of thousands of years that humans managed to live and get by and live lives without all of the stuff. I don't do cooking streams anymore. I put onions in my soup. I've had onion straight soup. I don't need it enough to the point that I want to make it, though. Worst part about the gadgets, they do the one thing, but cleaning them never as easy as they claim. Yeah. I'm gathering quickly with Darkmoon Firewater. The Weaver buff, I'm allied with the Weaver and I have a rep sped up. I have a rep caught up, which gives me an extra 30%. And then some specialization points help too. You get some deafness from those. You could do even more if you were also a High Mountain Tauren, but I haven't gone that hard. Weaver buff is really OP. Yeah, I'm not saying never again to a cooking stream, but in true hypocrite fashion, if I ever did one again, it might be sponsored by a meal kit company. I have such a hard time with those because on one hand, I'm sure they genuinely help people that want to cook and not order takeout, and they need a little help in terms of like sourcing ingredients, not having stuff that they don't need, and coming up with recipe ideas, right? Like, I don't think they're a flat out bad idea, but it's just a hard thing for me to want to promote because honestly, anything that is spending a lot of their marketing dollars on influencers are usually the kinds of things that people don't need and that are kind of wasteful. So it's really hard to want to promote any of that stuff when you don't really need most of it. And it's, you know, like, just it's not hard to Google a recipe and go to your grocery store. It's not. It can be done. The trick is to not Google the complicated recipes. You know, when people are trying to make the best thing ever and they have like really obscure ingredients in 47 steps, they've gone too far. And that's like a different genre of cookery. You just want the really basic one that tells you how to make the basic version of the thing. And it's going to be better than what you would buy anyways because you made it. What about slap chop shorts? That's a possibility. You know, I was talking recently about yoga streams as a way to kind of keep me accountable about keeping up with my yoga practice if I ever moved farther away from a yoga studio. So instead of doing like a Mysore practice every day, I could just like stream the yoga practice, not as like an instructional thing or as a not in a way to give or receive instruction, but just as kind of like I'm doing my thing that's good for me. Here's a good opportunity to put it on and then also do something that's good for you. And it'll be kind of like a body doubling thing. And I was like, oh, I wonder what other kind of yoga content is on Twitch. And I went looking, right? I tried to do some market research. And I was like, I wonder what other creators are streaming or have streamed yoga on Twitch. And I discovered that it would be in the health and fitness category. I discovered that there's not very many of them. And that with the exception of one man who seems to be kind of 50s, 60s, living his best life, doing an occasional yoga practice in between like software development and stuff. He seemed pretty sick. And then there was like 3 or 4 years ago, there was an actual yoga teacher that did like online classes on Twitch. It is all of a different genre of content. And it is generally promoting more content on a different website. And that's not exactly what I was looking for. And I was kind of surprised and a little bit disappointed because I wonder if people ever see that. The fact that, you know, online, if their only exposure to yoga is people using it to support adult content, and they think that that's the only point, they might be really missing out on something that could really make a difference in their lives, you know? That's kind of sad. I'm not like against adult content, although I don't really think Twitch is the place for it. But it's just it's a little unfortunate whenever that's the main thing from something like that, you know. I'm sure there's cosplayers that feel the same way, where they take their cosplay very seriously and people just kind of either assume something or they've written off the whole thing because in a different content category it's mainly used to sell adult content. I'm not worried about brand contamination. That's not really my problem. I think that if you don't want it, your yoga to be adult content, you just don't film it in that way. You know, the camera angles were pretty deliberate, so if you just stuck it off to the side, you'd be fine. Maybe don't wear a top with like a window. I wish Twitch would ban people for sleeping streams. I don't have a problem with that. I think that if people want to watch it and people want to make it, I mean, I don't get it, but it doesn't seem to be hurting anything, and I'm kind of, you know, I feel like if we're gonna be restricting content, let's focus on the more harmful stuff that's promoting more harmful behaviors. You know, if you're just promoting getting a good night's sleep, have at it, right? But yeah, I don't think yoga content would do well for me. I just think it would be a great way for me to make myself do my yoga practice at home. It's so hard for me to practice at home. It's really easy at the studio because by the time that you've like gotten ready and gotten dressed and gotten in the car and found parking and gotten there, you're like, well, I guess I'm doing the whole thing. But when you're just trying to do it at home alone, where there's nobody to see you skip vinyasas and skip poses and just give up, it's a lot harder to get the same level of practice in for me. I mean, I think if you have a problem with people wearing revealing clothes on stream, the general solution is just don't click on that stream. You know, they're not coming to your home and opening up your door and being like, haha, you know, like, no one's bullying you with it. But it does raise other problems when it's the predominant form of content on a platform that's not set up for it. But yeah, if it personally upsets you, you can just restrict adult streams. They have the tag for it now. And I don't think that like super strict dress codes are great either, because you're gonna get collateral where someone's just wearing like something fairly, you know, like it's not always intended in that way, and it sucks to feel like you're back in high school and you're like, oh no, I can't have a spaghetti strap because a boy might see my shoulder. Like, that sucks. We don't like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be a problem in chat if people are like, wait, where is your thing? You know, anybody online. And I think it's like hilarious that people ask for it from me because have you seen? But people are like, hey, yo, where's your OF? And all we go is just, nope. And then if they keep asking, then they're banned, and it's not a problem. It doesn't really derail the flow of the stream. You can do it all with buttons on the stream deck. But no yoga today because it's full moon today. I think the main thing that I would want to be careful of is having the right disclaimers to point people towards the right beginner resources. Because, not that I'm doing anything advanced, I'm not. I'm pretty new. I started 4 months ago, and I'm not doing anything super crazy. But if I've learned anything, it's that it can be very dangerous if you do it incorrectly or with bad alignment. Which is why it's great to have an actual teacher watch you so they can give you corrections. So what I don't want is somebody to watch my yoga stream and then go, oh, I'm going to follow along at home, and then go for it, especially if they don't do it warm or like with any experience, and then snap their Achilles and then be like, ow, you know? It's not that I think I would be liable for it. I don't think I would be. I just want everyone's tendons to stay intact. I think yoga's really great, but I think it's something that you want to do mindfully. And if you want to get into some of the more advanced stuff, it's good to do it under teacher guidance so that you can be taught the correct form so you can do it sustainably, because it is very normal for people, especially if they're really ambitious and new, to overdo it and give themselves injuries. Make an OF and fill it with pictures of characters and revealing logs. There was a time when that platform was trying to change their image and get away from adult content, and they were approaching creators like myself to be like, listen, you can do premium content on here. You can wear clothes. And I'm like, you have your market. It's doing great for you. Just embrace it. Don't do this. This is not going to work. Mm. Having a nice moon day so far. Sometimes I get a little like crunchy and grumpy because of the lack of yoga on moon days, but I got to sleep until, well, I would have gotten to sleep until 8, but my kitty was having a tough time. Yoga for dummies. If I ever did that, I would have some resources on the chat bot, because I wouldn't be monitoring chat, but I would have like the bot giving some links to some beginner resources if people wanted to get into Ashtanga. There's some good videos that I've used as resources that were made by teachers that have taught my teachers that are very good for kind of following along at home and getting a start. You've got Jeff Lichty teaching the fundamental asanas, and that's a really good starting place. Plus, it looks like it's going to be easy because it's like 20 minutes and it's for beginners, but it can really kick your butt if you go for it, especially if you're brand new. But that's the nice thing about yoga, is that you don't have to do it. You don't have to do the whole thing. You don't have to go all the way. It's okay if you're not flexible. There's actually a common saying of like the most blessed people in yoga are the stiff ones that can't bend, because they get the experience of yoga without having to do all of the crazy poses, because they can find their edge, that place where you're stretching and you're putting in work, way more easily because it's nearer. Any chance of an India trip? I am not planning one, but it's actually a fairly normal thing for people to do. All of my teachers have gone to Mysore in India multiple times to train there under the kind of owners of the legacy. It's interesting. There's stuff around that, but I'm pretty happy to just practice here and learn from the people that have done the traveling. I don't think I need to do the traveling myself. I'm just not doing yoga so that when I start, I'm stiffer and have a better experience. Preach the same goodness about yoga that my wife does. I am like really into it. I'm annoying about it. It's hard when you find something that actually helps you to not just want to like shout it from the rooftops. Like, I kind of get why people preach about stuff now, which was always so annoying to me before, because obviously not everybody's experience is universal. Something that works for somebody is not going to be the right thing for somebody else. There's a million different ways to live your life and get value out of it. But when you've been struggling for a long time and you kind of just thought that this is your life now, and then you find something that finally helps you, you just want to tell everybody because it feels like a miracle. And that's how I feel. But I probably could have had some of the same benefits from lots of different things. This is just the thing that I happened to try that's been working for me, so I'm just going to stick with it. It is for everyone. Tries to get it out there. You don't need to be fit, flexible. It's not all about doing crazy poses. She's a teacher. And there's no like age either. Like I've heard people say, you know, that's for women, or that's for young people, or that's for bendy people. And there's all kinds of different people at my studio, and they do awesome stuff. And like you said, you don't have to do crazy poses. You can get a ton of benefit from it, from even like a basic practice. Those are the best ones. It's really changed my mental narrative about aging. Seeing all of these people in my yoga studio that are kind of like lifelong practitioners or like long-term practitioners, and they're in their 50s and 60s and even beyond that, and seeing how strong they are, and balanced and stable and flexible, and also just like full of life, I used to hold this idea that especially because I was like a shut-in kind of gamer, I was going to age like, I don't know, badly. And I was just going to get crunchier and more hunched over, and eventually I was just going to be like that woman in the Shalamumu film and about the people growing old on a beach that just like cracks into pieces in a cave. If you've never seen the movie, don't worry about it. It's only okay. But I kind of had this idea that I was just going to hurt more and more and more, and I was going to get weaker and frailer and more tippy until eventually I just had a fall, cracked a hip, and then went, well, never mind. Had a good run. And seeing people age in a way that's different is really cool to actually see in real life. You know, it challenges a lot of those narratives about what growing older has to look like. That's how I feel about making gold. You just gotta do it. My fast gather thingy did run out. You're right. Let's pop another fire water. And while I'm at it, I'm popping another truce. Oh, I ran out of truce files. Need to buy more. Got a 70 still works that. Goes to cut hair every day. Like he's cutting other people's hair or he gets his hair cut, because both are kind of cool. Yeah, give me a 20 stack. Give me a 5 stack of those.
If you find anything exotic, bring it.
Stream's making me feel like I need to get to the gym today. Gosh, every time I go out, even now with how much I love and how much I'm preaching about yoga, every time I'm like getting up to go to the yoga studio, I'm like, oh, I don't want to. Oh, this sucks. Oh, it's early. I don't want to. I'm nervous. I'm not going to do a very good job. I'm not feeling great today. This isn't going to be any good. And then invariably when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, that was good. I'm glad I did it. And even when I had a bad practice, it's still better than no practice. Nothing feels worse than the days that I just don't practice at all. Even when they're rest days and they're supposed to be good, they're still worse than the days at which I do even half a practice. Kind of want to continue turning into an old, creepy, gnarled swamp witch. You could be a witch or a lich. Man, I'm just doomed to 20k an hour, aren't I? Although, you know what? Belladar in 2 minutes. I'm going to start heading up. I'm actually going to make the flight path do it because I don't trust myself to get there in time. I'm going to miss the entrance and stuff. Hello, Flight Master? If you had the new Bruto, you wouldn't need to drop a mailbox. That thought actually crossed my mind.
Beware of
Feed on their energy like a vampire. Trying to get more elderly people into it in a therapeutic way. You guys would get along. Have a sub for me. Thank you, Dodball. Yeah. I really hope I'm still practicing through my 40s and 50s and 60s and 70s. Even, like, your practice will evolve. You will kind of lose some things, but you're still going to be miles ahead of if you hadn't stayed active in the first place. You're still a barber. That's awesome. I'm going to really need to make sure as I continue to live my life that I am doing things regularly that get me around other people. I think the worst thing I could do for myself as somebody that is naturally socially anxious and shy around people that I don't know anyways, the worst thing I could do is just give up and accept that I'm going to be just inside on the computer for the rest of my life. It doesn't, like, I don't have to make bosom friends with anybody if it's not happening naturally. I don't need to force it, but, like, just getting around other people regularly, you know? Go be the weird loner in the community band or at the yoga studio or, like, at the cat shelter or whatever it's gonna be. You know, that's better. Want to get into alchemy? No idea how to start. I would start with the WoW-Professions Alchemy Guide. Give that a read. That's going to have the best info that's kind of easy to digest and get started with. It'll tell you about your profession specialization. It'll tell you how to level it. And that's a good starting point. I've been a stream regular since Dragonflight. I've never seen anything make such an improvement in your outlook as yoga, not counting Kira Moose and Mystery Partner. I do level my babies. But yeah, it's weird. I do remember it was really funny when I did my Dragonflight launch stream. Where's Beldar? There it is. When I did my Dragonflight launch stream, or not Dragonflight, War Within launch stream, and we streamed for like 8 or more hours, which I never usually do. Normally a normal stream is 3 hours, and a long stream is 6 hours for me. And we did like 8 or 10 or something like that. I remember people being like, it's the yoga! And I think they were joking. I think we were all like collectively joking but it's so funny to me. Because now anytime that I do anything that's even like a little bit good, I'm like, it's the yoga! Oh man. I am warm now. Should I change? I don't really need this, but this isn't really a shirt that I wear on its own. It's kind of like an underlayer shirt. Assuming we're getting player housing, if you could, where would you put it? And then what would it have? Coltiris, somewhere. Tiergard Sound or Stormsong Valley, not so much Drestvar. And I want a pond and a garden. Basically, I want like my dream house. I want a little bit of property, pond, garden, chickens, flower garden. Not for herbs, but just like pretty. I want furniture. I want tables and nightstands, and I want a kitchen. Lamps. I love lamps. Put on yoga. You better eat some yogurt, do some yoga. One of the best ways to make friends is at adult sports clubs. Tune into Hazel during lunch break. Find myself flying around Irving. Yeah, I basically want my Animal Crossing house. Although my Animal Crossing houses are always, invariably, uglier than I want them to be. Because the rooms are so big and square with a doorway smack in the middle of each wall, like especially the main room. I'm not great at designing them to be as cozy as I want them to be. I have all the vision and none of the execution. It's actually surprisingly hard. Although I will say that things that I learned about interior decorating and furniture arrangement for Animal Crossing actually helped me when it came to arranging my furniture and setting things up in here. Because my initial instinct, also I didn't get them out, my initial instinct was very much put things against walls. That's kind of like a, I don't know, a natural inclination that I have always had. And I used to do it in Animal Crossing, and then I would end up with a big square room with just a row of things around each wall, and I would be like, this is ugly, and I hate it. So then I like started looking it up, and there were guides that would be like, listen, try to make little zones. Use like a rug, use a piece of furniture to kind of section off little zones of the room, and then use those to make little individual discrete spaces. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. All right. And I used that because my front room is kind of open concept. My partner's desk is set up there. The couch and like the TV area is set up there. It's also like the kitchen and the dining space, and it's not that big, but like it's just one space for all those things. And normally, in my past life, I would have put everything against the wall and then been like, huh, this is awkward and doesn't look very nice. And what I've done instead is I've actually arranged the couch so it like juts out into the room, and it sections off like the living room from like the dining room space, and then the desk can be kind of nestled against the back of it, and then there's a separate little like baby office space, and it kind of works actually. Like it still looks messy, but I think I'm happy with it. And I learned that because I was looking up Animal Crossing guides, which I thought was really cool. Every single ACNH house I've ever built has had a tatami room. You think we'll see the Garrison effect? Nah. The Garrison effect was because there was no other hub to hang out in, and because your Garrison gave you all of these essential services like bank and auction house and, you know, profession sources and like, you know, your mine, your herb garden and everything. I want them to keep all of that stuff out of the player housing. The only thing I want in the player housing is the ability to port to it, the ability to get rested in there, maybe a mailbox, and then I want to be able to decorate it and stuff. I don't want a bank and an auction house and like, you know, like I don't want them to be, I'm going to want to be there anyways. I need it to be something that if people aren't really interested in player housing, they can safely skip, you know. The WAD Garrison turned into a lobby because there wasn't like one big faction hub that was more convenient than it. Everybody's capital city was basically instanced. I needed to not replace the capital city. How much does yoga cost? It will vary a lot depending on what you want to do, where you want to do it. Obviously, it could be free because it's something that you do with your body and with no like shoes or anything. You can get into a mat, and that can cost varying amounts of money. I have a membership with a studio that gives me unlimited classes. So that lets me go as many times a week as I want to go to led classes as well as self-paced classes under instructors. And I really like that. And at my local studio, that's like $150 a month, but a lot of people probably pay less in different economies and stuff like that. For me, it's actually a really good value because to be honest with you, I used to spend a lot more on therapy. It is cheaper than therapy, and I kind of learned everything and all the tools that I needed from my therapist, and then I was like, well, most of my growth is in yoga, so let's just kind of move that membership over. I'm not saying you should pursue exercise and not pursue therapy. Therapy also has value, and maybe some people have insurance. That would be crazy. But at my point in my journey, it was the right thing for me. This is retail WoW. Skip a month. You could get the Bruto right now. Yeah. No. Yeah, you replace a therapist with a voice in your head you can have conversations with. Exactly. I learned a lot of really good tools and skills from my therapist that help me reframe my thoughts, which is really nice. I was getting stuck in like thought spirals where I kind of felt like I had to rationalize things, and I would have some like horrible thought that just felt like an immutable truth, and it would just batter me. And I did ACT, which is a form of therapy. It's a little bit different from CBT. And I liked it because ACT doesn't get caught up in trying to solve the thoughts or argue with the thoughts. It just allows you to put them in context as thoughts and kind of de-emphasize the need to cling to them quite so hard. And that was really helpful for me. I like that a lot. Most of what I learned from it was from a book she recommended me. It wasn't actually so much from the work we did in therapy. There was a book on ACT called, I don't know, it had the word happy in it somewhere. But those are good. Those worked well for me. Yeah, I need to find the book. Let's see. The Happiness Trap, which is kind of a misleading name, but that's the name of the book, and it was good. It covered all the things that we worked through in therapy, and it kind of gave me some of those exercises, some of those reframing exercises. There's a book on the subject you hadn't read yet. A lot of them didn't pursue it from that angle. The thing that was closest to the ACT book was actually the Buddhism books, and not so much the self-help books. A lot of the self-help books are just yell at yourself and muscle through it, which must work for some people because Mr. Goggins has a successful empire, but it never worked for me. Yeah, Happiness Trap with a T. Do you refine them? I just sell them. I just sell them straight up. Our gold per hour started going up now that we caught a couple of slum sharks. That really helped. What if you refined them? I didn't even check to see if it was better. I have a feeling that if it was better, it wouldn't be better for long, because refining is so low barrier to entry that I feel like there's got to be people that just check on it and basically like catch the market up. I'm saving up gold so I can buy the auction house mount with tokens, is what I'm doing right now. But I have the old one, so it's not like life or death. I need approximately another 500k to do it. You're better than me. I was feeling very cynical about cash shop transactions, so I was feeling pretty committed to not giving them 130 Canadian dollars, or 128 Canadian dollars. The day that they came out with the darn thing was the same day that I found out that my cat had cancer, and I was kind of like looking at my vet bills, and I was looking at this thing, and I'm like, gross. Not in the mood, Blizzard. And even now, even though I've decided I do want them out, they're not taking real money. It's just not important enough. It was just weird timing. Praying for your sweet baby. Thank you. We're just trying to kind of keep her comfy for as long as she has. She's not gonna get better. Just to avoid getting any hopes up. So tempted to buy it, but that means I would be left with 0 gold. Man, I love having 0 gold because it's like such a fresh starting point for gold making. Like everything I loot feels so exciting when I'm totally broke. Like I'll loot a gray item and be like, ooh, I can sell that for like 6 gold. That's 6 more gold than I have, you know? Token is really screwing with my relationship to WoW Gold Cash Shop. It is still gross, but I still bought it. No point in beating myself up over it. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm not judging anybody that's buying. I'm still getting it. I'm just doing it with other people's money. It's the same thing. 0 gold and an auction house mount, which imagine how useful that's going to be in your future gold making endeavors. Yeah, I think a lot of people are doing the gathering thing for this, and it's kind of driving prices down, which is great for raiders because it's going to make raiding consumables more affordable. Farmhut. That's Farmhut. Yeah, I know. She's been a big part of the stream for such a long time. It's not going to be the same without her. It's going to be weird. And I'm probably going to keep streaming through basically most of it. I might take a day or two off if I really need to. But in my life, I've found that when I'm going through something really difficult, the best thing I can do is keep my routine. If I drop my routine, I just get bad. So I'm probably just going to keep streaming. It's gonna be not the same, and it's gonna be a bit sad and a bit of a problem if the stream kind of falls apart without her, because it's my job. Farming is a way to make gold for the mount, and it's nice and reliable. It's pretty low risk. You're not gonna do it wrong and lose gold. Don't even know what is so expensive this time around. It's just everything. Jazz, that I bought it via tokens at their literal lowest price in the last month. That is an actual achievement. That's pretty good. When it comes to making gold, really no best ways. There are just ways. Yeah. And if there was a best way, it would be instantly not the best way as soon as everybody figured out it was the best way, because it's like a living market. Gold making advice is funny that way. Catless for the first time in over 30 years. It is just weird. I feel for you, Rob. Wish there was a way to let stream chat not go there. Yeah, and I won't know what that's like until we do it. And we're just going to have to do the best we can. I don't think there's a wrong way to grieve. There's weird ways that people aren't used to seeing that kind of freak people out. I do morbid humor, and I'm trying not to do too much of it to chat because it's bad enough that I'm traumatizing myself with it. But I don't think that... I think the worst thing I could do is try and ignore it and pretend it didn't happen. I think that's, for myself and my own spirit, that's probably the worst thing I could do, is pretend that she never existed. I would never want to do that. I'm going to want to talk about her. At least when I'm ready, I'm gonna want to remember her. I'm gonna probably make a little video with like my favorite clips talking about my favorite things about her. You know, I think you have to face your feelings and you have to sit with them and kind of honor them and respect them if you ever want to work through them. And you're never gonna forget, but if you push it down and you run away from it, it's gonna come back and get you eventually. I've learned that one. You gotta process your feelings. The only way to avoid processing your feelings is to bottle them up and shove them down and then get hit by a bus by accident. And then I guess you don't have to deal with it, but you're probably gonna come back as a worm or something. I don't know. Yeah, no wrong ways. Yeah, if we get too cynical about it, the best way to make gold, the fastest way to get a lot of gold very quickly, is to whip out your credit card. And at that point, if you're wanting the Brutosaur, just buy the darn thing, you know. That'll make you gold in a real hurry. That's what I typically do. Don't recommend it. Yeah, it got me through my teen years, and then I've had to spend a lot of time unwinding all of that. You're gonna have to do the work eventually. Do yourself a favor and do it while it's fresh. Sucks, I know. And it's easy to say, and harder to do, but... Lost our pup right around the same time you got Moose. Helpful seeing your joy to counterbalance our loss. I'm sure Moosey would have, like, loved your pup too if they'd ever had a chance to meet. There was a similar weird thing in my life where my sister's family had a dog that passed away like the same day that I got Moose. It was just a weird timing thing. We didn't know that was happening. I definitely would never have done it on purpose, because, like, how awful. You know, your sister gets a brand new puppy on the same day that you're saying goodbye to your dog of all these years. But we kind of had the same feeling of, like, these two dogs would have loved each other. And, you know, there's a happy doggy with a home now, and that's good. Yeah, Interact Key's great. Great for gathering. I use it sometimes. Gosh, Moose is so funny. He gets so excited in the morning to see me that he does this thing that I really need to get a good video of. I have, like, some clips that are kind of it, but he'll be standing on his bed, right? 4 legs all straight up, like standing like a dog. And then his front half collapses, and then he puts his face into the floor while his butt is still standing up. And then he, like, rubs his face and moves his shoulders around and, like, twists his body. So it's like the Moosey noodle. It's a very specific, strange thing that he does. But he's so funny, because he'll just, like, and he'll just start rubbing his face in his bed. And then eventually he'll fall over, and his butt will, like, fall onto me, and I'll catch it, and I'll give him butt scritches, and he gets really happy. But he does it every morning. And he'll do it again if I, like, leave home and come back. And it's the best every single time. Strictly fishing pools for sharks. Got 38 and a ton of fish in 1 hour. That might actually be faster. I'm up to 23 an hour. 23K an hour, but maybe sometime I should try just fishing for fish. You know, setting aside, might be a bit weird tomorrow because of the fishing derby, but setting aside herbs and ore completely, just get on my main, fish for fish, see what my gold per hour is from it. I don't think it'll be quite as good. But it'll be something. It would kind of depend on how lucky you are about getting the shark pools. You had to watch one Warcraft event. AWC, MDI, or TGP? Probably AWC. Out of those. I've never clicked with the Mythic Plus competitions. Which is strange because I do Mythic Plus, you know. I do all these same keys. It should be interesting to me to see how the best people in the world go about doing them. It's just never clicked with me. It's just not my thing. Get one of the boat toys. Aren't you a priest? I guess if you're on your druid. Because you can just levitate. But, which one's easiest to get? Probably the Angler's Raft. Gotcha. Been without pets for a year. Sometimes I still expect to see the cats when I get home. Trying to wait until I retire in about 10 years due to how my work schedule is. That's a responsible thing to be thinking about. It's a long time, though. I'm kind of in this weird place where I want to buy a house, and it's actually a good time right now, and there's some really good deals and some houses that would be really good. And I don't know what the market's going to look like later. So if I wanted to jump on something, now would be a decent time to do it. But I don't want to put Kira through a move when she's this sick. Like, I know I'm just kind of trying to keep her as happy as I can until it's her time. Which is a messed up thing to have to pick, by the way. Hate that. Not a big fan of that mental conversation. There's no right or wrong answer. But, oof. Not a big fan. But I don't want to put her through a move. She's blind. She's blind and sick. I will not put her through a move when she is this way. But I don't know. I don't know how much longer she has. It's kind of up to me, which is messed up. She's having a really hard time keeping food down. I need to talk to the vet, but I've been putting it off because it's such a hard conversation to have. This is Farm Hut. Race works for you. I missed the context of what the race comment was about. Sorry to hear about your cat. Thanks. It's tough. I'm lucky I've had her, though. I'm really lucky that I had her. I still have her. She's right there. She's not gone yet. I need to not talk about her like she's already gone. Baby girl's taking a nice little nap. Oh, the Race to World First. Yes, that works for me better, but don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna, like, sit down and watch it for, like, any really amount of time. What I do is I put it on in the background and I check in when I walk by the screen. That's the way I like to watch the race. And then when it gets really close, then I'll start watching to try to see the final pull. But for all of the hours of progression before then, I'm basically just waiting to see until I get close. You can't put your life on hold because your pets are struggling a bit. I know, she's going to die, you know? I don't want her last weeks to be like that. If she was just like, you know, a little sick and she was going to get better, I think it would be different. I think a lot of things would have been different. But yeah, we'll see. I need to trust that there's also going to be places available that I would like when the time is right, and it's not like the ones that I'm looking at now are not the only ones that will ever come on the market. The market is not going to change, you know, 2020 style in the near future. That was kind of a crazy event. It's not going to do that in the next like year. It might change in the next year. Prices might eventually start picking up again, but it's not going to outrun me because I'm able to save. Don't even have to meet her in person to know how sweet she is. I love that she likes to purr into the mic. She's done that so many times. And it's just so nice to kind of give her the mic and be like, here, kitty, you make a speech.
The lamplighters are stretched thin. For the Arathi to survive, we must settle in
the window of when it's a valid, compassionate time to make the decision has already started. I know.
Threats not even our key flames can dispel.
It's just such a messed up thing to have to think about, but I would rather do it sooner than later because I don't want her to suffer more than she has to, and there's really only more suffering. Like, I can go to the vet and I can get her maybe some things that will cover some symptoms for a while, but if her quality of life already sucks, it's just dragging it out. And that would be something that I would do for me and not for her, and I need to make sure I'm doing these things for her, so it sucks. Last cat used to talk on conference calls. I could sense when I had the mic on, went meow. God. You know what's weird is that since I started working with a specialty vet, the original vet that we usually go to, our normal vet, I don't know, they must have gotten the records updated. I don't know if they've looked at them. I don't even know if they know that she's got cancer. Like, I'm going through all this, and then what am I gonna do? I'm gonna like call my vet or send them an email and be like, by the way, we're down one feline, so don't ask me if she needs her shots updated because she's gone. I mean, I probably should let them know if that happens, but or when that happens. It's just weird because like she hasn't been back to them because we've been working with a specialty internal medicine vet. Topic change, perhaps. Oh, if you don't, it's okay. No, she's not going to get better. Thoughts on lunch? I'm kind of not hungry anymore. Oh, I'm flying right past nodes. There we go. Need to get sleep vitamins because I cannot sleep. Definitely be careful with that. I know getting sleep in general, super helpful, especially when you're really sleep deprived. Worth trying a couple of different things to find something that works for you, though. I ended up doing a bunch of different stuff. A really good workout is honestly the best thing for helping me actually sleep. Getting like a strong workout in a day, which is hard, and it kind of sucks when you're doing it, but it's worth it just to actually pass out at the end of the day. But it's hard when you're going through a hard time. You want a dynamite stick I can use on fish nodes to despawn them and force new pools. Oh my god. I know what you mean, but that's just a funny mental. Chicken rice with tzatziki? It was wonderful. I think mining is a little better than herbing. I'm doing both, so I haven't really separated out my profits to see which one's better. Workouts are magic in terms of how you feel. Yeah, it's kind of a tricky line to walk because on one hand, I agree. I think they're absolutely magic for all different ranges of mental health. But I've also, on the other hand, been in that position where it feels like the most useless advice because you don't feel capable of doing it. Like, just mentally, it's just not happening, and everybody telling you that you should do it just makes you feel worse. And I don't want to be in that position. All I can really say is that it's really good for me. Too many Liverpools. So find some kind of a workout routine. It's cheesy advice, but it's got to be something that you like for its own sake and something that you're not doing just to work out, you know. Different people like different things. Common ones that appeal to people that aren't normal gym goers are bouldering, like rock climbing, is like really fun, even if you're new and even if you don't have a lot of experience. It's just kind of a natural instinct to want to climb up a wall. Swimming is another one that a lot of people like, even if they're not, you know, super keen about like hitting the gym or the treadmill.
Recover what tools you can.
But there's a million things you can do. That was gold per hour. Today, about 25k per hour is what we've managed to get back up to. Normally 30 or 35 for me. Today's been kind of bad. I wonder if it's just the values going down or if it's, I mean, since yesterday, I don't know. I think I just had a bad scan. Can take up archery, works for me. Love, love, love swimming. Horrendously bad mental health right now. It's very hard. I'm sorry to hear that. Whenever I used to get like that, all of the good advice was like no good to me, and the only thing I could really do was just try to take care of the basics and hold on for a while until enough of the mental clouds lifted that I felt capable of taking a step that would help me climb out of it. GPH is just auction value. No crafting required. My local Y lets you take the old lady swimming classes if you're disabled enough, so that's great. Those look like so much fun. I don't know if it's already happening, but I need Aquafit to have like a youth revival. Don't hurt your squeezers when boulder. It's gonna give you really strong squeezers. The finger strength was unreal. The finger soreness. My friend Silver Kitty was talking about the benefits from when he first got into like rock climbing and bouldering. And he was talking about how him and all his friends that had just all started it together started to notice that they were getting stronger because they would go to the fridge and pick up like a thing of milk or OJ or whatever. And they'd be like, whoa, that picked up so fast. Like I picked it up so easy. Because their like arms and hands were like so much stronger than they used to be. And I thought that was hilarious that that's how they noticed. I'm glad you're here, Scarlett. The everyday things. You want to hear a really embarrassing one? This morning, I shouldn't tell this story. It's really embarrassing. Just because it's like cringe, right? I was like I was waking up and I'm like stretching in bed like you do, you know, like a stretch. And I'm doing one of these and I'm like, man, that feels weird and different. There's something like strange and hard that's kind of like pressing into my face bones right now. And I'm like kind of waking up, I'm really tired, and I'm like, oh wait, it's my bicep. Those are my brand new arm muscles. They didn't used to be there. I used to stretch, my arm would press into my face and you could just feel bone and squish. That was all there was. There was a little bit of squish and there was a big old bone. And that was it. And there's a little muscle in there now. And I can feel it when I stretch in the morning. It has to go someplace. It needs a home. And then I felt all satisfied. And then I was like, that's the saddest thing you've ever done. Gun's getting in the way. It's just, I'm not saying that I'm ripped. I'm not. But from somebody who was a lifelong dry uncooked spaghetti arms person, it's weird having anything at all. It's cool. Yeah. I'm not gonna get... You don't get, like, bulked doing yoga. If you look at lifelong Ashtangis, they're toned. But they're not... And they have, like, muscles. Like, don't get me wrong. They're strong. But they're not... You're not gonna get, like, bodybuilder status. It's not really what it's for. And I'm not trying to get bodybuilder status, but it's just cool seeing my body change at all. Yeah. He's alive. And I try to remember that whenever I'm like, no, I don't want to do another chaturanga. You can't make me. I'm putting my knees down. I'm tired.
The sacred flame is powerful. Even those outside our faith can wield it through the use of holy oil.
Honestly, they're not even really working on the biceps. They're working on the ones on the back, whatever those are called. And, like, your core. Hazelin. Hans and Franz. We are gonna pump you up. Core is so important, helps everything else. That was something I didn't understand right away that I kind of started to get, was that you really need to engage almost everything for most of these poses so that your whole body is supporting itself and not just your dead weight sitting on whatever one core thing is going on. Like, in yoga, we do shoulder stands at the end of practice, and those are fun. Like, you might have done them as a kid, where you're just kind of like, you're laying on your back, and then you push your hips up in the air, and you kind of support your lower back with your hands, and your shoulders are on the ground, or your shoulders and your elbows are on the ground. And the first couple of times I did that, I'm like, oh my god, I'm crushing my arms. This is so uncomfortable, because my arms just feel like they're getting absolutely crushed. And what I didn't realize, and what I've learned to do now, is that you're not just like sticking your hips up in the air and pointing your legs up and being like, wow, I did it. You need to be like stretching and pressing and engaging and holding up the whole line of your body with everything in there. And when you do that, you're not crushing your elbows anymore. It's crazy. I don't really know how the physics works of like holding yourself up even when you only have one point of contact to the ground, because I think there's still like gravity or something. I don't know. I'm not that smart. But it's like the difference between dead weighting yourself and engaging your muscles is crazy, and it makes you able to do things that you didn't think you could do before, because you're like, there's no way my arms can support me in this or whatever. But it's like you also need to hold the rest of yourself up. Natalie XOXO94, thank you very much for the brand new Prime sub. I really appreciate it. Burrito 3 mil? I mean, I haven't done the math lately. It might be different for North America versus EU. 6 tokens, and our tokens are at, let me see. Yeah, it's definitely give or take. Our tokens are at 132. Why did I think 128? Good grief. Canada, am I right? Freaking thing. Wow, token 268. 337. Call it 1.6 mil. 1.6. Ow! Also, I'm going the wrong way anyway. Let's get out of this one. We're going up the hill. Yeah, it would be more for you, for sure. I haven't started doing headstands yet. I'm very afraid. I don't know what I'm afraid of. Falling over? Snapping something? Probably falling over. My balance is pretty bad. Balancing skills are very hard for me and take me a lot longer to learn. But I am learning them. They are coming. Spent 5 mil for my burrito way back when? Yeah, me too. We at least have this one. I headstand in no way. I don't headstand at all, and I'm gonna have to start soon. That's the thing. That's the next thing that I'm learning in my closing postures. It's after the shoulder stands. I think maybe you start against the wall. I haven't tried any of it yet. I need my teacher to make me do it. But yeah, you link your fingers together, you put them on the back of your head, you put the top of your head on the ground, and you put your elbows on the ground like that, and you've got like a strong core like that, and then you slowly walk your feet in until you've kind of walked your hips up to be straight over your head, and then you're trying to like lift yourself up. You're supposed to do it in a controlled way, and maybe against a wall to start. There's also, they can assist you as well when you're first getting started. They had to assist me in shoulder stands for a few days. They would just like grab my feet and just haul me up and be like, no, like this. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing it. Do you really have to? No, but I will. I am reasonably able-bodied. I don't think I'm gonna get away with just saying that I don't wanna. I could if I wanted to, but that's not really the attitude that they're looking for from me. Love the kitty cam. Trying to get the 12-month bundle. Also Canadian 220 with tax. Another 500k gold to go. But yeah, maybe it'll be easier than I think it is. Like I said, I haven't tried, so maybe it won't be as bad as I'm imagining. The key thing is just to have them give you something that you can work on that will help you build the strength that you need to do it properly. So if you can't do the whole thing, you're not going to just slam your head against the wall. They're going to give you like an exercise or a modified version that you can do, and you just practice that until it gets easier, and then you do the harder version. Theoretically. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'm going to have to do it. You'll get home tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But people do all kinds of crazy stuff. After the headstands, there's handstands. I don't know if those are, I don't think those are part of closing. Maybe they are. But I've seen people do their wide-legged forward folds and then press from those up into a handstand. And that is the sickest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh, I can't do that now, but it would be really sick if I got there one day. Some Cirque du Soleil right there. Any good Indian takeout places in Victoria? Are there ever? There are. There's a lot of good ones, actually. There's enough good ones that if any of them are closed, I have like 4 or 5 different ones that I could do instead and still get like my same order and have it be amazing. I love Indian food. It's nice to have food where there's more than 2 vegetarian options, and the vegetarian options are better than salad. And I live in a great city for that. I live in an awesome city to not eat meat in. It's awesome. There's definitely options here. How are we doing? We got 20 minutes left. Oh, blood in the water pool. Isn't it written into Canadian Constitution, quality worldly food options? If you're in an urban center, anyway. Maybe not so much if you get out into the boonies. Go for some fried tofu right about now. I just want to cuddle my puppy. I want to pet my kitty cat. Give her some smooches. And I want a big hug from Lucy. He gives really good hugs. He's got these really big brown eyes. And they're always like full of hope. He's always really optimistic that whatever happens next in life is gonna be sick. Take him for a walk. I mean, he gets walks at the same time no matter what. I took him for a bonus walk recently because he had like missed doing his business in the first walk, so I took him out again later in the day to like give him another chance. And when you take him for a walk off his schedule, that boy does not go. He is so slow because he's tired. If you try to, like, every other dog I've ever walked in my life, doesn't matter what time it is. It could be in the middle of the night. You want to walk him? They're like, cool, let's go. And they'll just walk. If you try to walk Moose during his nap, he will drag every one of his feet. All 4 of them. It's so funny. It's really inconvenient because you'll do one block and it will take you 35 minutes. And you have to like coax him the entire way. he did like, and he walks at a perfectly good pace now on his other walks that he's used to going. But if he's not in the mood, he'll still go. He's just not gonna move. Dog's favorite thing to do is French kiss anyone he can. Mine does that too. I told him he's lucky he's a dog because it's harder to get away with as a person. Every dog, I mean, he does it mainly to dogs. He also licks my face because I let him. But, I mean, I don't like let him, but I don't actively stop him either. He mostly does it with dogs. Like, he sees a dog and he's like, I wonder if they would let me lick their teeth. Can I go check? Mom, can I go ask? We didn't even ask. Both my partner and I are responsible for training him. We do it together.
Attacking in the shadow,
but if I let him do something, it's because I've decided that it's fine. So some things like the face licking are just they're fine in our house. So we just let him. Bonus points if you can encourage him to lick the other person's face as a prank. Oh, Moose is training you when he wants to walk. Oh, right, yes. You do have to adjust the time of it sometimes because of weather. In the summer when it's really hot, you can't go until it's cooled down. And then in the winter when it's really dark, you can go in the dark, but it's nice if you go earlier when there's still daylight out. But you just, apparently mid-morning, no good. That's his nap time. Don't wake him up during nap time. Big old sleepy bear. How are we doing? Definitely let my true set file fall off again. I should make a WeCore for those. Because I keep forgetting. I need a WeCore that tells me when my true sight and when my dark moon firewater is out. Oh, that was Lush Air through a spear. I missed it. Moosey really loves having his teeth brushed, and it's very cute, and it's extremely convenient because I was gonna do it anyways, and it's much nicer when he lets me. He gets excited when it's time. He goes to his spot, and he, like, waits and sees which one of us is gonna do it. His dog toothpaste is chicken-flavored, and he just thinks it's the bee's knees. And he's pretty tolerant, so he'll let me, like, move his lips around so I can, like, really get in there and scrub his back teeth. Get up and around the gum line and stuff. It's great. He'll still probably need professional cleanings in his life, but I'm really hoping that I can avoid him needing teeth pulled in his life. Because we went through that with the cat and that was no fun. Even she still gets her teeth brushed. She likes it too. She pretends like she doesn't like it, but she also shows up for it every night. She'll come like wait in the bathroom when I start brushing my teeth, so I'm pretty sure she likes it. She thinks she's smooth. Oh, I'm not gonna make it. I was gonna say there's another mount off if I want to go, but it's like just started. And I don't like doing them if I miss the first mount. Also, there's not so many people there anymore, so it's not really all that exciting. You know, it's less fun to play when you have less people to defeat. You want there to be at least a chance that you're not going to win. Looks like we're up about 46k today. It's not as good as yesterday, but it's not nothing. It will help. And that doesn't count any gold that we made from our crafting. That's nice. You know what I want fixed? When you gather a node and it despawns and it says you can't loot that. I think that's just a case of the timer on the node running out. It's just like you caught on the very borderline of it despawning. It's annoying though, I agree. Man, there's so many nodes here, but they're all underneath. I hate this thing. It's Trixie. Probably why it seems like there's so many is they're all layered up. If you want there to be a chance to lose, make a group I can face to your server. How many mats do you have? You got quite a few, right? It's annoying getting the big special loot pop up when you fish a sanguine out of the water. I think it's just because they're blue. I think it's just the rare quality trigger. As valuable as slum sharks are, they ain't blue quality. Oh gosh. Maybe like 20 less than you. You'll probably catch up. I've eased off a bit. Rich bismuth. I'm getting finesse procs fairly often. That's kind of nice. Man, overloading's such bad value compared to what it used to be, and I'm really not good at it either, so it feels bad. I'm just not getting very much out of it. I'm gonna clone this one though. Is there a reason to choose Hallowfall? It's a good combination of herbing and fishing. You can find blood pools sometimes to fish up slum sharks while you're gathering. And the gathering gold per hour seems to be similar to the other two zones that I tried for the routes that I'm doing anyway. Or lack of routes. Maybe at some point I'll optimize this a little bit more, because we've got another 500k to make. At least. So maybe I'll mess with it and I'll actually install the route add-on again. I might, if I feel like it. I have the old Brutosaur. I bought it back in BFA for gold. I farm and sell, and then my other character I will craft things for the auction house with my enchanting and my alchemy. What's funny is, like, I literally, for alchemy, like, I'll buy herbs to craft with, and I have these herbs, but I sell these ones. Like, I just do it separately. I don't like mixing and matching. Doesn't make any sense because the auction house cut makes it worse off. It's just the way my brain works. What is the root add-on? I think it's called Roots. I think it's literally just called Roots. I don't have it right now. Still smiling from the reveals yesterday. Was it yesterday? Pretty exciting. Oh, yeah. Yeah, since they made those materials region-wide, I don't really try to, like, mess with the price or anything. If the price is really bad, I might hold on to something, but for the most part, I just sell it for whatever the going rate is. You just gotta be careful not to get baited by the one node that's, like, super cheap. But Auctionator does a good job of showing you that and letting you just pick the next highest price. Yeah, exactly. Lowest price that has a lot available. That's what I do too. I think sometime this weekend, because we've got a Saturday stream and a Sunday stream. Maybe tomorrow we'll take a day off from gold making and do Mog runs if Flabby's around. I'll have to see if he's around. We've been doing some Shadowlands and BFA raids. Oh, there's 3 people in this blood pool. It's gone. People are onto that strat for sure. We're not going to be alone for long. Quick, fish. I find that when I try to buy out the cheapest ones, they're gone by the time I try to actually buy them. I have a hard time with that. a slum shark. And hammerfish. Well, I think what I'm gonna do... Yeah, I do all my shopping from the Auctioneer tab. I don't use default UI. It's too messy. A little bit of an extra lap, and then I'm gonna sell this stuff and see how much it's all worth. Gathering Tracker thinks about 50k. I remembered to mine the node first that time. Gives me one extra writhing sample to sell. And then there's another 4. That's like about 80 gold. I think if you're not sure of what to overload for mining, you could do a lot worse than the weeping nodes. These are the best though. How many slum sharks we got? 9. It's not bad. Especially considering for the first like hour and a half it felt like we weren't finding a single blood pool. I don't think I get bloody perch out of these pools anymore. Didn't the blood pools used to be mainly bloody perch with like a chance to catch slum sharks? They must have changed that. I wonder if they were trying to drive feast prices down. Because I swear that used to be different. In your opinion, is gathering the best? Easiest. Definitely easiest. Best is always going to change. I prefer doing a couple of different things so that I don't get super bored of any one thing. So if you liked mog selling, what I would do is I would do that, and I would also try a few other things to see what feels fun for you. Because if you're miserable the whole time, it's not going to be worth it. Gathering is really satisfying for some people, and other people find it really boring. Some people might want to just fish, other people might want to not fish. You know, some people like to mass farm mobs to get loot to sell that way. I don't know who, but people do that. You know, like there's lots of different ways to do it. Fishing's capped on my main. I did that a long time ago for the sake of the fishing derby. I wanted to get as much skill as I could have. Pardon me. I wanted as much skill as I could have to make it easy to get the last fish I needed for the achievement. Get the mount. My alt is actually her fishing's medium, but it's been going up because she's been fishing. You know, the sharks. My fishing skill on this character is at 108, so not close to capped. Skill is like really not that important though, because you're still gonna want pools. I don't think even with fully capped, fully buffed fishing, I don't think it's worth it to just sit and open water fish unless it's something that you can do, that you like doing. I don't know. I guess I could test that out. I could compare, because I have a character with quite good fishing buffs. I could kind of compare the value of the open water fishing versus how much gold you make from pools. It'd be kind of a fun experiment. I'm always assuming things without actually checking. Yeah. Actually, I'll hang on for a few more minutes here. Fire water's just about to expire. That's a glimmer pool. Wow, fact finding. I know gold channels do that kind of thing all the time, comparing different different strats, seeing what's more efficient. Do you think Hellafall? It's a good zone for sure. Ringing Deeps apparently is popular. There's a Ringing Deeps route people keep telling me about. Hellafall's nice because of the fishing. Alright, let's see what this is all worth.
Greetings,
vendor these.
and ma'am.
And
Not
then
everything in the ocean is
start
as
posting.
good-looking or nice-mannered as I am.
So what I usually do is I'll get it all posted. And then I will check to see what my auctions are worth in total. See what we made for our gathering day. I bet you we did like an hour and a half of gathering, because I know I started late and then I spent some time crafting, and then we did the mount off as well. So maybe between an hour and a half and 2 hours of gathering today. It's a nice thing to do when you just want to like sit and talk, though. You just gotta, gotta have some topics handy. I need to make a little list of like party conversation starters. I used to do that. I used to Google them to have things to talk about on stream, and then some of them were like really controversial. They would be like just trying to get people fired up on politics, and it's like, listen, I don't want people talking at any cost. I want to have a nice conversation. It's different. Need a post all button. That's TSM for you if you want that. TSM is great at that. But I like this because I like being able to keep an eye on the bait, basically. And I don't mind taking the time to do this. It's not a huge part of my day. Will you do a full guide on the secret quest lines and achievements? I wasn't planning one. I've never done any secret guides before, at least not since like Jennifer. I didn't do the last Secrets of Azeroth batch. I need to finish raid guides before more raid guides need to come out. I really appreciate the interest, though. It's very flattering.
Anything exotic, bring it to me.
Okay, so those auctions are worth collectively about 55,000 gold. It's not too bad, actually. That's pretty close to what we normally do in a day of gathering.
If you find
Technically, post all button against TOS. Yeah, even the TSM one you have to spam, but still better than this. Let's go check on our auctions in the other one. Probably about to head off, but hello? Hello! I am, it's true. Took a nap instead of being social. Hey, sleep's important. That's what I tell myself every time I take a nap instead of doing something. Alright, that's not too bad. Sold some stuff.
Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries
Do a
old.
little reset here.
If you find anything exotic, bring it to me. Have anything ancient to trade? Needs to be at least 2 centuries old.
Get that all reposted and see. These things are worth another 65. So I'm probably up like 110, 115. That would put me at about a mil. I think that my activities today should put my net worth at approximately 1 million gold from the 850k that we started at. The only thing I don't like about the new breed of lack of fun voice lines. I love these guys. People complain about them. I think they're great.
If you find anything exotic,
bring it to me. You know? Billion gold. That is nuts, yeah. Okie dokie. Say hi to kitty. The cute thing about her is that anytime you go to pet her, once she realizes it's you, she starts purring. I am done for today, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. Maybe a mog run day. That sounds comfy. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate the company, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.